gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth. Fast speed though, how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, think it's something you could talk about.
No, thank you. Who you talking to? Cause I know it ain't me.
Tried it.
Oh, no, ma'am. No, sir. He's acting like we work for him. He ain't my boss. Oh, mama don't even try to tell me what to do anymore. Since I've been 15 years old, I've been paying my own bills and doing my own taxes. So you need to relax.
I don't work for you. You seem to be very confused. You not the boss of me. Seem to be very confused. If you think that you gon' tell me what to do, oh baby boy, you must be so very confused. Everybody's freaking out 'cause something's wrong with you. And there is something very wrong with you. Something wrong with you. There is something very wrong with you.
Fast like lightning, harder than a hurricane. I bring the thunder, I'm dancing in the pouring rain. If you try to fight me, dishonor on your family name. Oh, I think they like me, world will never be the same. IQ billion, patience zero. Did you ever meet a modern day hero? Hold up, wait, whoa, put the flavor on it. Why you frontin' on me, boy? I'm your daddy favorite.
Bad boy, look at you now. King for a day, you are wearing the crown. King for a day, you are wearing the crown. You really might have made your daddy proud. You really might have made your daddy proud. Y'all never thought he would come back around. You never thought he would. Here it is though, having a cloud, blowing it now, building it up, just burning all down. Always a game, totally shameless. to you.
I wrote this song in A minor. Get it? Because tricks aren't for kids.
Now, bad boy, what you gon' do? Now, bad boy, what you gon' do? Feds all out here looking for you. They looking for you, and they all fall. Huffing, they puffing, they blew it all now. Built it up to burn it down. And playing a game that you never could win. Pawns all fall down. Promise you broke every lie that you spoke. Coming back for you. Every time that you prayed, every move that you made. Coming back to you. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Nothing you can do about it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Nothing you can do about it. This little light.
Okay, hello. Hi. How are you doing this fine Friday? Yeah, so I think there's been some confusion because I was doing those AI songs at the beginning. That is the last 3 songs is actually me singing. I have a music channel. You can also actually download some of those songs, I think on streaming or whatever. But yeah, let me show y'all my music, a channel. I put stuff up on there like little demos, little raw vocals demos, little things here and there. So you got a little few things going on over there. Gorianna music. So yeah, that's me. That's not why you're here though. Yes, love Long Island Audit. Wait, Long Island Audit is in here? Yes. Shout out to Long Island Audit. Oh my gosh. I'm such a fan of Long Island Audit. Oh my god, we actually developed like a friendship so cool. I actually went on a First Amendment audit with Long Island Audit. Yes, I did. I'm still a little under the weather. I do feel a lot better. Shout out to Long Island Audit. Oh man, y'all, you need to go subscribe to his channel. And I wanted to come on here like a little early today, which I obviously didn't end up doing, but I wanted to let y'all know I have finally, sorry it took so long. I finally did link the mods, like links for things down in the chat. In the description box. Where is, okay, I wanted to go to Monica's gifts shop. So Monica has a really cute gifts shop on Instagram and it only has 36 subscribers. I linked it down in the chat below. If y'all could go support the mods. Personally, right now I'm still paying off my legal bills. I wish I could support the mods even more, but I do try to support the mods and they don't get like paid. They're just doing this because I tell them they have no responsibilities. They, other than just use their discernment. But the mods are moderating this chat literally all day. There's no like Discord. There's no like, oh, you got to work this day. It's just like a purely volunteer basis. If you have a wrench on this channel, I probably didn't talk to you much about it before you got one. Some of the mods I barely even talked to at all, but it is just a pure volunteer basis situation. So if you appreciate what the mods have been doing, especially considering keeping Mia's identity, private as the courts have determined and things like that. If you appreciate the mods doing all of that, I have supported the mods. I would appreciate if y'all could go support the mods as well. It is a thankless job. It is an unpaid job. It is a volunteer job. It's not a job. It's a volunteer thing. And so I just wanted to shout out to the mods. Also, before we get started, this series, none of this stuff would be possible without this legend, this hero right here. And it is preposterous that the journalist of the Diddy trial has 19.7 thousand subscribers on his. It's preposterous that I'm getting more subscribers from the Diddy trial. I couldn't even do this without Inner City Press. Well, now I probably could because there's like other news outlets, but y'all, like, can we give a round of applause and can we give a subscribe to Inner City Press's YouTube channel? He's making videos on top of the tweets every day. Inner City Press himself, we don't have to take it from anybody else in there, which I suggest you do listen to lots of people inside the court. But I want to, give credit where it's due. Yesterday, y'all saw me tip my hat to some other creators. Tisa Tells, she is in that courtroom every single day, y'all. I used to have to recover for like a week from going to a Britney court hearing, and Tisa has been in that court. I know there's been others, but it is different. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. Tisa Tells, tip my hat to her. Andy Popcorn Planet, it's Kim, tipping my hat to them. Mims, he was in the courtroom. So I did want to just make that statement. I do know that sometimes it can start to, from some people, and I think there is a lot of bots and astroturfs, don't get me wrong. But I think it can kind of like start to feel sometimes like it's like some type of like competition and your people are competing. Pascal is another one. Pascal, shout out to Pascal. I know I'm missing some. Infamous Sylvia. She's reading transcripts every night. She's sitting in court all day and reading transcripts every night. Infamous Sylvia. I can't do that. You got to tip your hat. You got to. Y'all, I'm telling you, I am in my house. I come upstairs and I sit in my house. And then when I'm done working, I go sit on my couch. And it is hard to be live 7 hours a day. It sure is. Everybody has their own like avenue. Everybody has their own personality. And yesterday I said it. I don't have competition. I don't have competition. I'm not competing with anybody because nobody can compete with me. I'm the only person on the whole world that could do this. Exactly what I'm doing. I'm in my lane. I'm in my purpose and I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. So I think it's awesome that all these people are covering the Diddy trial. It's an issue of extreme public importance. Shout out to KB Goes Live. He's been doing daily recaps. There's others I'm sure I'm missing. I mean, I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I'm gonna be giving flowers. I'm gonna be giving credit where it's due over here. So shout out to everybody that's working on that. If we could get Inner City Press, my God, can we at least get the man to a 20-something thousand? He's in the courtroom all day. And then whenever this trial ends, you know what he does? He goes down to another courtroom. You know how I would get him on my city bike and go home if I was him? No. He goes down to another courtroom every day that the trial ends and he goes and covers something else. Plus, he's tweeting on docket. Golly, y'all need to go support this man. I could support him more myself. It's just so incredible. Okay. Anyway. All right. So flowers. All right. So let's go, speaking of, to Inner City Press. And there are a few updates. I know the judge is on the bench already. Hold on, I'm pulling up his. All right. Today is Friday, May 30th, 9:14 a.m. I can't read y'all's comments because I get so distracted. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here we are in Inner City Press. 18 minutes ago, they already started arguing before court, as they do. What's the issue with the charts, the judge says? Okay, so the prosecution wants to introduce to the jury as evidence some charts, like I guess kind of like tables or like Excel spreadsheet type style exhibits where they kind of put things together. Maybe it's timelines, maybe it's incidents, maybe it's details. I'm not exactly sure, but there's some type of visual aids that the government, the feds, want to present to the jury as evidence just to kind of like summarize. They're called summary charts to kind of summarize what's been going on with the
some evidence. Now, Diddy's team has opposed this. They've said that any charts that the government would submit need to be submitted first to them in like a extreme amount of time. Not extreme, but like give them enough notice to object and have like motions about it, because Diddy's team, and to me, in my opinion, I think they actually did make a good point, because when you're thinking about this stuff, or when I try to think about it like, what if it was somebody innocent? What if it was somebody totally innocent, and Diddy could be? Of course, I tell y'all I'm biased, but I don't know. I wasn't there, and I'm looking forward to hearing him make his case, and see what his defense team says. But I try to think about it like, okay, so what if the person we're talking about is absolutely innocent? What's the most fair thing to make sure they get a fair trial? Because that has to be the lowest common denominator. And so Diddy's team presented some evidence and some previous incidents that had happened in the past in other cases, where the government introduces some things that they're like calling visual aids, and they're calling it summary charts. But really what it is them making their little arguments in a different way. And they're kind of biasing the jury with the evidence. So they'll be like burying a little bit like, and he's guilty or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, not quite that egregious, but different argument things, like even so much as saying S assault incident number 1 or whatever. And then it's like, well, you already just said it was an S assault incident. That's the whole point. We got to prove it. I'm just using that as a possible example. So Diddy's team has tried to keep out these charts, these summary charts, which of course we don't have access to as the public, at least yet. And the government is saying, okay, yeah, I understand, Diddy's argument and all that, but we're not doing that. We're just simply using summary charts, try to make the evidence more understandable for the jury. So Diddy needs to relax and calm down until we actually have those charts come up. So the judge says, what is the issue with the charts? Diddy's lawyer, Alexandra Shapiro, said, Your Honor, we object to the column that is entitled escort. Okay, so there's a column on one of these Excel spreadsheets entitled escort. So this is kind of like a loaded question or a loaded definition, right? Like what I just said. It's like the whole point is one of his crimes alleged is stitution, right? Like S worker, whatever, hiring male S workers, this, that, the other. Well, part of the government's job and part of their burden is they have to prove this was S work, and this wasn't just consensual, and this wasn't just consensual adult activities or whatever. Oh my God. Girl, it is time to do something different. I've been trying not to cut my hair, but it might be time. Okay, so Diddy's lawyer's like, okay, can you call him something else? Can you call him men? Can you call him something else? Because we don't want it. They need to prove these were escorts. We're not just going to let them label them escorts. What do you mean? And you may have seen something like this come up. I believe this may have come up, if I recall correctly, in the Johnny Depp trial. I did not follow that trial at all, but even some of it like made it into the news. It was unavoidable, where it was like, we don't want them to be referred to as a victim. Like, we don't want Amber Heard to be referred to as a victim. Something like that's like, can't call him a victim because you have to prove she's a victim or whatever, right? So the judge is like, okay, the title escort, you mean the title? Diddy's lawyer's like, yeah, they're connecting up the stay with the hotel with the escort's travel to the city. She said, we don't even know if the escort traveled to New York City, that they actually went to the Londoner hotel. Okay, so they're arguing back and forth, but Maureen Comey's like, whatever, that's fine. Like, okay. The federal prosecutor's like, whatever, we'll take out the title escort. Moving on. Okay, she said, though, but we have records like go to room, so-and-so in the hotel. We can remove the header. We will also show that the escort was going back to the hotel where there was a reservation, Frank Black. Okay, so they're just kind of arguing back and forth about some things, some specifics on this. Imagine like a chart, like a Excel spreadsheet, a table, and it's probably several pages long. Maybe not, but they're arguing back and forth about the details. First thing came up was something about titling these men escorts. Maureen Comey's like, fine, we'll just change the title. It'll just say name or person or whatever. Moving on. But we're going to show that that person was going to the hotel where there was a reservation under the name Frank Black. And what do we know about the name Frank Black? Well, that's the alias, one of the aliases that Diddy does go by when he is reserving hotels, according to testimony, and whenever he is getting prescriptions sometimes filled. Remember, we saw in evidence from the New York City Manhattan hotel that Diddy was arrested at in 2024 that he had a prescription bottle of like clonazepam or whatever. And I did make a video about this on BJ Investigates, the mysterious discovery in Kim Porter's nightstand. And then I made a follow-up video based on these Frank Black bottles. But he had one of those found just last year. It said Frank Black, and it was like clonazepam. So this is one of his aliases. And the U.S. attorney, Maureen Comey, the assistant U.S. attorney, she's like, Your Honor, okay, fine. We'll whatever. We don't have to call him an escort. But we do have records like go to room. So-and-so will be in the hotel. We can remove the header that says escort, but we are going to show that the escort was going to the hotel and there was a reservation under the name Frank Black. Judge says, okay, well, what about this one? The assistant U.S. attorney said, Jules Theodore. Okay, that's Jules. That's the one who was allegedly, according to Cassie's testimony, Jules was the one who was in the hotel, in the Intercontinental Hotel. The 2016 CNN footage came out. It was like 2016 Intercontinental Hotel, Cassie running down the hall, Diddy running down the hall like a puma, that whole thing. Well, in that hotel, if I remember correctly, this is all off my memory, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. This is just opinions. But to my memory, this Jules person was the one that Cassie testified was in the hotel with them and doing the freak off in that hotel. So, I just gotta get my hair. You know, some people get their hair done and their makeup done every day for YouTube. It's crazy. They are connecting up the, no, it's crazy, but I understand. I feel like I don't understand why. Okay. They are connecting up the stay with the hotel, the escort. Okay. We already read that. Title's out. This, we got that. Okay. Jules Theodore. I guess that's his middle or his last, I guess his last name. Okay. I don't know what this, we'll take what the court gives us. The judge says, anything else on the summary exhibits? We're running into the jury's time. Let's get started. Can we have Mia back? Okay, so the judge is like, we can handle this stuff when the jury's not here. So it is important to note like the jury's time versus like right now before the court started. Like they get started every day about 8:30. I think like the lawyers arguing and stuff like that. But once it starts ticking to 9 o'clock, the judge is like, we need to keep it moving. We need to get it going. And then, you know, he will stay afterward to let them argue too. And then during the lunch break, he'll be letting them argue too. So I just got to adjust my antennas. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, so the judge is like, all right, so sort out whatever else there's going to be with these Excel spreadsheets and get the jury back in here. Okay, wait, let me get my gavel. All rise. Is it just 2? I don't know. I got to learn my Robert's Rules gavel etiquette. All right, all rise. Now, what are we doing? Where are we at? This is Mia. This is anonymous Mia. I already made an announcement yesterday, but please do not. Who is Mia? What is Mia's name? Please do not say Mia's name in the chat. The court and the government and everybody over there has seen fit as to have Mia be anonymous. So I personally have not looked up who is Mia. I've not looked it up and I don't want to. So, I mean, I kind of do want to, but I haven't looked it up. And the reason I'm not looking it up is the ones I've already said. Plus also I don't even want to like accidentally say her name or something. So I'm just going to not know for now. If I can help it. So she's on the stand and she's on she's on direct examination. So she's a government witness. She's also a statutory victim. There originally were 4 victims of this RICO. One was Cassie, One was, and then the rest were named Victim 2, Victim 3, and Victim 4. Victim 3, we ended up finding out, I think, was Gina Huynh, who was another, alleged victim of Diddy, but they have not been able to get her to, I guess, agree to testify at this point, or maybe they did get her to agree to, and then she decided not to. But from all appearances, on Friday, May 30th at 9:26 a.m., Gina, Victim 3, Gina, who I believe is Victim 3, is not going to be testifying. Now, that leaves us with Victim 2 and Victim 4. Victim 4 is on the stand right now. This is Mia, is the pseudonym that she is going by, Mia. So Mia, she testified yesterday, and we got some scathing stuff. She's a former assistant of Diddy. She's a government witness. So again, because she's a statutory victim, she's one of the people who they're alleging Diddy had abused, not only physically, but also sexually. Okay. So she testified yesterday about having things thrown at her, having like food thrown at her, spaghetti, over the fact that she needed to go to the feminine hygiene emergency situation bathroom over there. And she was really in a vulnerable way. And Diddy said he didn't really care about that, and he wanted her to keep working, and then threw spaghetti at her. And then she was actually laid off the next day. She ran out of the house. She hid from him, went to a different hotel. And then the next day they suspended her with no pay. She also said that Diddy threw a laptop computer at her on a movie set in a trailer or something, and Swiss Beats was there. And he said, I don't care if you have to go call effing Bill Gates. If you need to get the Wi-Fi working or whatever. So she testified to all of that. And she also testified about 2 to 4 incidents of sexual impropriety. And now remember, this context of this sexual impropriety is not only in the context of if you just went out on a date with somebody. All right. There's extra protections in place for somebody whenever they're an employee, right? We have these federal laws that protect employees, like labor laws. So it's beyond just, oh, that's just domestic violence, or that's just assault, because we have an extra layer added onto here, which is that this is a boss employee relationship. All right. And then a lot of other extra layers get added on because of the other situations, like the coercion alleged and rugs alleged, etc. So we're back on the stand here with Mia, and she has not even completed yet her direct examination, meaning the first round of questions that the feds are asking her. She hasn't even finished that yet. So we're just starting that here. And I did cover this yesterday across 2 separate videos, so you can go and check those out if you want to know more details about what she testified. We'll probably have to circle back to some of it today, but you should go and watch that if you really want the full rundown. The judge said, okay, you can proceed. So the feds, the assistant U.S. attorney, says to Mia, did you call the other employees family? Remember, I always told y'all this family, capital F, I always listen. When my scalp starts tingling, it's usually like something's going on. She said, yes, I did. I did call them family. I was surrounded by them, and everyone referred to each other that way. Remember, one of them said that one of the assistants, like George Kaplan or David James, one of them said that they called Diddy's mom Mama Combs. You dated an employee? Mia said, yes, I did date an employee, the sound engineer. His name was Matt. Okay, Mia, did you and Matt ever hang out together normally? She said, no. We had an apartment together in New York, but we were rarely there at the same time. Okay, question. Why did you go to South Africa? Remember, South Africa is where Cassie was making her movie, The Perfect Match. The movie, when it eventually premiered, was the infamous premiere that Cassie went to with a black eye. She had bruises elsewhere on her, and she claims that she was injured in that 2016 hotel incident at the Intercontinental. So in the 2016 incident, she gets beat up. It was allegedly, according to her and according to her testimony, she was in the middle of a freak off and she had already told Diddy she wanted to leave by a certain time so she could be ready for her premiere and she could be rested up for her premiere, but Diddy did not want her to leave. So, calamity ensued and then we got that video. Well, this is South Africa. The filming is where they made the filming for the perfect match. Why did you go to South Africa? Puff told me to accompany Cassie. She was shooting a movie. And what happened there? Mia said, well, Cassie had caught Diddy cheating on her with Gina. Remember the Gina? She said that was the one that she was really jealous of. Cassie was devastated. What were her interactions with Diddy? Mia said, well, they were on the phone. He was in Miami, and then she stopped answering Diddy's calls. Well, we already know what happens when she stops answering Diddy's calls. It gets out of hand. Okay. They introduce an exhibit, the feds do, and she says, all right, I'm going to read the blue messages. Those are from KK, Miss Karam. Wait a second. If they got blue messages from Miss Karam, that means either this is messages from off of her phone or it's her messages from off of her iCloud. And Bad Boy had access to it. Either way, interesting. I'll read the blue messages. KK, Miss Karam. And you read the gray. That's you. All right. So this is text messages between KK, the chief of staff, Christina Karam, and Mia. All right. So we're looking at text messages between Christina Karam and Mia. Christina Karam says, PD wants to talk to you. Question, who's PD? Mia said, that's Puff. Audio call not completed? Mia said, I wasn't answering the calls, but I spoke with Diddy. He threatened to unalive me. There's another threat. What else did he threaten you with? So I don't know how she wasn't answering calls, but she spoke with Puff. I don't know how she talked to him. Question, what else did he threaten you with? Mia said he was firing me. He said I had to leave and fly back, and he threatened to unalive me. Wow. KK wrote, I need to talk to her. Not sure what to do. He needs you to call him now or you don't have a job. So KK, okay, here y'all go. Here's some evidence of the enterprise. Here it is, y'all. Here's some evidence. Yesterday we read an analysis. I think it was Fox News. It might have been CNN. I think it was Fox News, though. We read an analysis that was from a lawyer that said so far proving the RICO is going to be difficult because so far it just kind of looks like all these individual, like a few people. We need to really show the connection between the business, the enterprise, and the pattern of racketeering activity. So here I think this shows the enterprise, right? The chief of staff saying in a text message, or you don't have a job. Get Diddy's freak off toy to text him or call him back, or you don't have a job, or you call him back about his freak off toy, or you don't have a job, right? Like this is the picture that needs to be painted in order to establish an enterprise. Okay, let me see. Diddy's chief of staff tells Diddy's assistant she doesn't have a job unless she calls Diddy back. Now, what would Diddy say? Yeah, duh. Any employee who just ignores their boss's calls could be fired. That's a totally normal reason to fire somebody. But why does he want this employee to call, to return his call? Because Cassie's not answering the call. So he's getting his employees involved in his personal sexual relations and drama and toxicity and getting them to do his bidding whenever Cassie clearly does not want to talk to him. What is it called when you repeatedly contact somebody that doesn't want to talk to you? Well, at some point it is harassment, right? Legally innocent until proven guilty. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay. About Cassie. So she stopped answering calls. So again, what's the context? Again, Cassie's in South Africa and she stops talking to Diddy. Why? Because Diddy was cheating on her with Gina, or Diddy was having a relation with Gina. Maybe it wasn't cheating, but Diddy knew Cassie didn't like Gina and him together. Yeah. Diddy knew Cassie had issues with him and Gina together. Cassie's in South Africa filming a movie. Diddy's maybe two-timing with Gina. Pictures leak about it. And then Cassie gets mad, stops answering calls. And then Diddy gets everybody and their mama to try to get in touch with Cassie, but Cassie don't talk to him. So we got Mia, who's threatening to they're threatening to fire her if she doesn't get answer the call, and it's got to be about Cassie. Christina Karam is the chief of staff trying to get in touch with Cassie. For what? Because she's not answering his calls. Why? Because he's fooling around with Gina. So you see how it's really intertwining the personal and the business. And it is a gray area because they have said Diddy was always working. She's a personal assistant. So of course she would be doing personal things. So it is going to be a back and forth. You're going to see this come out probably in the closing argument, but maybe even earlier than that. So they're reading text messages between Mia and KK, Christina Karam. The last text message we read, Christina Karam wrote, "I need to talk to her," meaning Cassie. "Not sure what to do. He needs you to call him now, or you don't have a job." Question, how did that make you feel? Mia said, desperate, terrified, and really, really sad. Did you answer KK's calls? No. I texted back that I had been asleep. It sucks to wake up to this every morning. I'm being beep on from all sides. I'm in a effed up spot. Truly, truly. And what was KK's answer? She wrote, "Can you call me when you get a chance?" I wrote, "I'm having anxiety attacks and night fears." Question, who were you having anxiety attacks and night fears about? Mia said, Puff. Who are these WhatsApp messages with? Mia said, Puff. I screenshotted them and I've had other phones since then. Okay, so this is the infamous WhatsApp messages. Now, Diddy also tried to keep these WhatsApp messages we're about to see out of this trial. If you've been following my videos since before the trial started, I was going over basically every filing that came up, every argument that was coming up. I did miss a few, but I remember these WhatsApp messages, and she's had other phones since. So she doesn't have access to the full WhatsApp conversations, so she says. Diddy wanted the full WhatsApp conversations between him and her, but she's like, I don't have them. So because she don't have them, she just has these few screenshots. And Diddy was like, okay, well, these are out of context. We can't authenticate them, et cetera, et cetera. And so no, they can't come in. Well, the judge, I guess, is allowing them in. And now we're about to see them right now, or hear about them, read about them. What are these WhatsApp? Who are these WhatsApp messages with? She said, I screenshotted them. Oh, Puff, excuse me. Puff. Diddy. Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy Combs. I screenshotted them. What did Diddy write? Wow. Wow. He is terrifying. This is so messed up, y'all. This gave me a sick feeling to read. What did Diddy write? Mia says, quote, if you don't call me in 2 minutes, I'm gonna tell everything. You're fire. FABC and their lawyers. Let's go to war. Next question. What do you think he meant by tell everything? Mia said that he would tell Cassie about the S assaults. What do you think he meant by FABC? Mia said, I had written a show based on my life as an assistant. It hit the press, the most I ever got. He was threatening to take that show away. And did the show ever air? No. Either way, this is bad evidence for Diddy, because either in the one way it's fraudulent inducement, which shows the fraud component of the RICO, the pattern, or if it's not fraud, then the government could try and argue that it is using the enterprise to reward people who help him traffic Cassie and other victims, and also, or using the enterprise to punish alleged victims who don't go along with the pattern of racketeering. Either way, this evidence could be used, I believe. I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion. Did the show ever make it to air? No. And we have a text message from Diddy that says the reason why is because she wasn't answering the phone about Cassie. He is so manic. I can't be around people like this. I'm allergic to it, and there's just no way. No. See all this right here? This right here, if you can just be so hot and cold, I'm allergic to you. Go. Get out of my life. I don't work for you. Shoo. Get away from me. Now, that's not me saying they should have did that. I'm just talking about my personality type. And at the same time, I totally understand. At this point, she was already compromised. And I don't mean because of something she did. It was because of something he did, which is the feds' point. He would trap people, trick people, extort, blackmail, threaten, arson, unalive. None of these things are domestic violence. They're to keep the enterprise in line. That's why a lot of these people aren't being charged as co-conspirators, because it would kind of fly in the face. It would fly in the face of the idea that Diddy was the one in charge. Now, I do think we are going to get some co-conspirators, and I think it's probably going to end up being at least some of the bodyguards, the security, maybe the ones that were allowed to have locks on their doors, for example. And it might end up being Christina Karam. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So did the show ever air? No. So then what did he write here? Okay, they're looking at the WhatsApp messages. Call me now, now. Then don't ever call me again. I wrote back that I had been asleep. Is that the end of the screenshots you have? Yes. Okay, now let's move to the next exhibit. What is this? Mia said, this is my email to Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. And then also to KK, Christina Karam, the chief of staff. What did you write? Mia said, quote, I'm really sorry, Puff. You know I love you, smiley face. I paid for my own flight. It will cost to change it. I'm sorry to ask for the money. I'm sorry. I want to make sure you are good. At the end of the day, regardless, I love you. And I totally understand why they're all doing this I love you stuff, because the man is on freaking hinged. You got to placate. Why did you send this? Mia said, well, because he had told me to return, and then he told me to stay. I couldn't afford the change fees. I told him, Cece, that's Cassie, says she really needs me right now, but of course I'll do whatever you want. I love you. Who is Cece? That's Cassie. Yeah, it's scary. This is scary. It's like making me feel like cortisol through the roof, just like reading it and thinking about it. Like this poor girl. Okay, let's see. We have some updates, 4 updates from Washington Post. All right. Before the jury is allowed into the courtroom, the judge and attorneys typically discuss logistics. Today, Mark Agnifilo said he had issues contacting Diddy, who's apparently run out of phone minutes at the jail where he's being held. The judge indicated that he would work to resolve any communication issues, including transporting Diddy to court earlier in the morning to allow for more face time with his legal team. 20 minutes ago, Shayna Jacobs, Washington Post. Mia's testimony has resumed, with prosecutors asking her about an experience as Diddy's assistant years ago. The witness testified yesterday that Diddy abused and SA'd her at random intervals throughout her employment, though she was too afraid of retaliation to report it. She described a particularly horrific attack where he climbed on top of her while she was in the spare room. She wasn't allowed to lock the door. 10 minutes ago, Wesley Parnell says Mia walked briskly into the courtroom and avoided eye contact as she passed her former boss, Diddy. She took the stand and arranged her belongings, her eyes cast downward. Quote, "You talked about how the highs were really high and the lows were really low," said U.S. Attorney Madison Smizer to open up today's line of questioning. Mia, which is an alias, has not raised her head yet to meet the gaze of Combs. She's still scared, and I don't freaking blame her. Okay, Wesley Parnell from 3 minutes ago. Diddy had called his then assistant incessantly when she accompanied Cassie on a film shoot in South Africa in 2015. She said she woke up to 48 missed calls and messages despite the large time zone difference with Diddy. 48. She said she was afraid to speak with Diddy because in some of the messages he was threatening my job and he threatened to unalive me. This line of questioning leads to a central theme for prosecutors: that Diddy used intimidation and threats to coerce women into acts. All right, we had an hour ago, 8:24 a.m. This is NBC News. Marlena Lenthang. Diddy's attorneys were seen arriving at court after 8 a.m. Agnifilo dodged a reporter's question about whether he watched the Knicks game last night. Court is in session for day 13 of Diddy's racketeering and ST trial. Okay, 25 minutes ago, we get a little more insight from NBC News, Adam Rice, Ying Fang, and David K. Lee about Diddy trying to have more access to his attorneys and them trying to have more access to him. The defense continued its call, so Diddy's lawyers continue their call for more time to meet with Diddy outside the courtroom. Hours. The judge appeared to say there might not be much more he can do to help. The judge said he could have Diddy available to his lawyers in person for up to 90 minutes in the morning following 7 a.m. and maybe for another 2.5 hours after the jurors are sent home. Those hours are already maxing out the U.S. Marshal Service, the judge added. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo said his side cannot properly show Diddy documents and exhibits in his holding space. The judge said he appreciates Diddy's unique needs, and will try to get more time and space for the defense. But at some point, the defense might have to accept it's getting more time with Diddy than almost any other federal defendant, the judge added. 26 minutes ago, Mia returned to the stand wearing a cream blouse, white jacket. I don't want to describe what she's wearing. Mia claims Diddy made threats to unalive her and report her to HR. And in October, this is 2 minutes ago, NBC News. In an October 26, 2015 WhatsApp chat between Mia and Diddy, then Chief of Staff Christina Karam Combs, then Chief of Okay. Sorry. The way that they write stuff sometimes, I just have a hard time. In an October 26, 2015 WhatsApp chat between who? Between Mia and KK, the victim or alleged victim, and Christina Karam, the chief of staff, the former chief of staff. Okay. Mia said in these messages, Diddy doesn't sound in his right mind. He was threatening to unalive her and take her to HR. The peculiar threat of both violence and taking formal employment measures could be one more piece of evidence. Yes, good catch. Could be one more piece of evidence for prosecutors seeking to show how Diddy allegedly used his work as part of a criminal enterprise. Now, I think this will be difficult because the threats to unalive and the threats of violence, there's no pictures of that. So you just got to take her word. One new update from NBC. Diddy left threatening texts and voicemails after he was caught cheating. Cassie had caught Diddy cheating on her and was left devastated. And she stopped answering his calls when she was in South Africa shooting a movie. This is what Mia testified. Mia said she woke up to 48 missed calls and messages from Diddy and others who worked for him. We have 4 new updates from CNN. 39 minutes ago, CNN.com, prosecutors want to show the jury charts of the hotel and flight records. Prosecutors and defense attorneys are still discussing evidentiary issues. This is 40 minutes ago, before the jury was brought in. That includes summary charts that prosecutors want to use later at trial to show the jury hotel and flight records related to the case. 33 minutes ago, Mia was back on the stand and the jury was entering. 16 minutes ago, former employee says she was desperate to keep a best friend dynamic with Diddy. The assistant U.S. attorney, Madison Smizer, 16 minutes ago, CNN.com, asked the former assistant testifying in Diddy's trial why she would write "love you" in the text messages to Diddy, even after being sexually assaulted by him. This is a quote, because it's just how we talk to each other. When the dynamic would shift to the best friend dynamic, you're just desperate to keep it there because you're safe, Mia testified. 21 minutes ago, CNN.com, Diddy's former assistant describes the moment she says Cassie learned Diddy was cheating on her. She testified that Mia testified that Diddy had told her to go to South Africa with Cassie in October 2015, while Cassie was shooting a movie. While they were there, Cassie found out that Diddy was cheating on Cassie when she saw a video of him with another woman. She was devastated, Mia testified. They were on the phone, and then at one point, she didn't want to speak with him, so she stopped answering his calls. She testified that Diddy tried to get her, another one of his employees, Christina Karam, and others to reach out to Cassie to get her on the phone. Mia said, quote, "I was put in the middle." Jury sees messages of Diddy threatening to tell everything. Breaking news 1 minute ago. The jury has now seen messages between Diddy and Mia, one of his former assistants, from October 31st, Halloween 2015, when Cassie was still in South Africa with Mia. So Diddy texted Mia, quote, "If you don't call me now, F it all. And I'm going to tell everything. And don't ever speak to me again. You have 2 minutes. F her. Call my house now or never speak to me again. F ABC and all lawyers. Let's go to war," Diddy allegedly wrote in the message. Mia testified today that Diddy was threatening to tell Cassie about the sexual assaults on her, but with a different framing, as though she said, as though it was my fault or that I had a part in it. She said ABC had recently purchased the rights to a comedy show that she had written. Okay, so now not only MTV, not only Chelsea Handler, now we have gotten ABC entering the chat. Okay, so, and the LAPD. Remember those fingerprints going missing, getting destroyed? They didn't go missing, they got destroyed. So this is starting to show or imply even a little bit how powerful Diddy is, because ABC had actually purchased the rights to a comedy show that Mia had written. She said it was the most exciting thing that had ever happened in her life, and Diddy was threatening to take it away. In the messages, Mia responded by saying Cassie was busy and asking Diddy to give her more time. "I'm begging you," she said in the messages. "She just texted you. She said she just needs the time to change. Please, just be nice on the phone. Please be nice." Diddy then sent a series of more than 10 messages telling her to call him before sending a message saying, in part, "I've come to the conclusion that it's best we no longer have any dealings." Wow. Let's go back to Inner City Press. This is so sick. Well, I got to give it to the prosecutors. They really are laying this case out, and they're making me see where they're going with this a little bit. Wow, this is just crazy. Cause like there's like the job component of things, right? There's the like, okay, get over it. Maybe you don't need to work in Hollywood to some extent. But then there's the like, or I'm telling everything. I'm telling everything and acting like she's doing something wrong when she's really not doing anything wrong. Like she's not doing anything wrong. This is abuse, in my opinion. To everybody involved. Cassie, Mia, KK. At what point, though, is somebody like a KK? I mean, I'm sure Diddy has stuff on her, too. If this is just how he acts, this is just how he is. He's probably got stuff on everybody. Why did you write that? Okay, hold on. So the last thing we read from Inner City Press is where Mia was saying, Diddy told me to come back, but then he told me to stay. So I couldn't afford to change the flight. So I told him, Cassie said she really needs me right now, but of course I'll do whatever you want. I love you. Who is okay, Cassie? Why did you write that? Because at the time I worked for him, and to him that's all that mattered. Why did you CC Christina Karam? Mia said because I actually needed somebody to answer. I was in limbo. Okay, so when you got back from South Africa, where did you work? Mia said the office in LA. And when you went back to the office in LA to work after this trip, did you have less access to Diddy? Mia said much less, yeah. Did that make your jobs easier to do, not having access to him, or did it make the jobs more difficult? She said, oh, it made it almost impossible. I needed his okay for everything, but I couldn't get any response from him. And how did that make you feel? She said, defeated. Okay, I'm going to turn your attention to the next exhibit. What is this? Okay. What is this? Mia said, oh, this is a note for HR, from HR to me. What was the date? March 31st, 2011. Okay, so this is right in the aftermath of the Kid Cudi ordeal. Okay, so Cassie, a few months earlier, had been kind of like dating Kid Cudi back in December 2011. Oh, wait. No. Excuse me. This is earlier in the year. So March 2011. This is about this is about 9 months before the infamous Diddy is going to go and break into Kid Cudi's house, allegedly, trespass, allegedly. So this is like 9 months before that, March 2011. Okay, so they put up this note, I guess from HR to Mia. And it's from 2011, but then the judge is like, can we take this document down? I think it needs some more redaction. So I don't know what that was about, girl. And then the question is, okay, so what was happening in that email? Mia said, I was suspended without pay. So he's just always suspending her with no pay. It's just really crazy how he's always doing that. What had happened? Mia said, well, Diddy had come in and didn't see I have laid all the options out. He started ranting. I tried to point to the other options that I had laid out. Who was he with? He was with James Cruz. He worked for Diddy at that point in like a managerial role, and he asked for tickets. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll get some more context here. I wrote back, Puff is currently firing me right now. He wrote back, LOL. I wrote back, no, seriously, with a sad face. Okay, so So we're showing a few different emails from March 2020, 2011, it looks like. I'm just trying to piece together from these tweets like what is going on. Bear with me. We will get more context as we scroll through the other sources. Today we have Washington Post, NBC, The Independent, CNN, Fox News, The Mirror, Sky News, and then we will go and check out Pacer as well. So this is a note from HR to me where she was suspended without pay. So HR is sending her the suspension without pay. Why was she fired? For really no reason, suspended for no pay, for really no reasons, because she had the options out, but Diddy was just irate and just firing her. He came in and I had all the options laid out, but he started ranting. I tried to point to the other options. Okay, what about this email? Oh, that's with James Cruz. He worked for Diddy in a manager role, and he was trying to get me to do something for him, but I told him I was in the process of getting fired right then, and he said LOL, and I was like, no, I'm serious. Okay, let's move to the next exhibit. What is this? Mia said, oh, this is an email from D-Rock to me. Same month, March 25th. This time it's like a couple weeks later, a week or two later, March 25th, 2011. D-Rock had asked, what happened? Okay, D-Rock is the security guard, and he's the one that I think drove to the Suge Knight diner incident and all that. And D-Rock asked, what happened in the email? So this is now an email between D-Rock and Mia. D-Rock asked what happened, and Mia said, I wrote, quote, he went bat beep crazy about his shirt. Okay, so now it's an email between D-Rock and Mia. Mia's telling D-Rock that the assistant is telling the bodyguard that Diddy went bat beep about his shirt. Okay, so let's see if we can get some more context about the shirt. And at the time, where was Puff? Oh, he was with D-Rock, going to the doctor and some other errands. I asked D-Rock to give me a heads up before they came back so I could be out of the way. And what did HR tell you about that? That Diddy wanted me suspended without pay, and I was indeed suspended without pay. So she's just getting suspended without pay all the time. Okay, let's go back here. All right, 19 minutes ago, we get some new pics of Janice. She's in her Cowboy Carter era, clearly. If you're trying to keep count, we're now to 3 weeks into Diddy's ST trial. The judge is hoping to wrap up by July 4th. But Mark Agnifilo, Diddy's lead counsel, says he's might be bumping up against July 4th. Okay, we're Washington Post. Shayna Jacobs. Diddy used sexual assault against Mia to blackmail her. She testifies. Cassie was ignoring Diddy's messages on her 2015 trip to South Africa. Mia testified because Cassie had recently learned Diddy was seeing another woman. The brunt of Diddy's fury over that fact fell on Mia, according to her testimony. In dozens of messages, she testified, Diddy ordered her to return to the United States immediately and threatened to tell Cassie about their sexual encounters. Mia previously testified that Diddy had AR'd her and repeatedly assaulted her. Now, she said, Diddy was threatening to frame the sex as consensual to turn Cassie against her. Quote, if you don't call me now, F it all, and I'm going to tell everything, and don't ever speak to me again. You have 2 minutes, F her, Diddy wrote to Mia on Halloween 2015 in a WhatsApp message that Mia read out loud and which was shown to the jury. Mia said that Diddy also threatened to ruin a TV show deal that he and Mia had reached with ABC about an assistant working for a prominent figure like him. The show never aired. 8 minutes ago, NBC News, Adam Rice, Ying Feng, and David K. Lee from NBC News. The jury got a look at Diddy's alleged insatiable need for employees to respond immediately. The government showed an odd text conversation between Mia and Diddy, with Diddy spouting off 7 consecutive lines of "call me now." 7. Call me now, 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 call me now. It's like makes like overwhelms me, makes me want to throw up. Could be the case, but I don't know. The Independent, this is just more. Okay, so this is more context into the text messages between KK and Mia. You get this from the Independent from Mike Bedigan, 28 minutes ago. Diddy threatened to unalive Mia, court hears. Alleged threats from Diddy had made Mia feel terrified and desperate. Reading out text messages between herself and Christina Karam, Diddy's former chief of staff, Mia claimed that Diddy had threatened to fire and also unalive her. Asked how the threats made her feel, Mia replied, desperate, terrified, and really, really sad. When asked if she had answered Christina Karam's calls, Mia said no. This is a quote. I texted back that I had been asleep. It sucks to wake up to this every morning, thinking I'm being beep on. No, it's not thinking. This is not, no. It sucks to wake up to this every morning. I'm being beep on from all sides. 11 minutes ago, Diddy threatened to tell Cassie about alleged SAs, court hears. In Mia's testimony, she said that Diddy had threatened to tell Cassie about her alleged S assaults, but with an alternate spin. He would have told her, quote, as though it was Mia's fault, or that Mia was or had a part in it. Jurors were also shown a series of text messages between Mia and Diddy, in which he threatened to, quote, tell everything. If you don't call me now, F it all, and I'm going to tell everything, and don't ever speak to me again. You have 2 minutes. Let's go to war. Well, how's the war going for you now, buddy? Woo! Okay. We got CNN.com giving us yet more context. We get quotes, filling in a little bit more of what maybe the jury saw about in those text messages. Okay, 9 minutes ago, CNN.com, Diddy's former assistant got threatening texts and calls for days as Diddy tried to get to Cassie. The jury saw a series of messages between Mia and Diddy about Diddy angrily demanding to speak to Mia so he could get to Cassie. But then the chief of staff repeatedly texted and called this assistant on the stand right now, Mia, as well, in the overnight hours while Mia and Cassie were asleep. So it's daytime over there. They're all up and manic in the US over here. And then they're like blowing up Cassie and Mia's phones, but they're like, it's the overnight hours. Mia eventually answered Christina Karam on October 26, 2015, after she said she spoke to Diddy on the phone. Okay, so she eventually answered Karam after talking to Diddy. Quote, okay, so Mia says, quote, to Christina Karam, Mia says, quote, he doesn't sound in the right mind at the moment. Any reasoning should be in the AM, your time. Mia testified that when she spoke to Diddy before sending that message, Diddy was, quote, irate. Oh, here's some quotes, y'all. Quote, irate, forgetting what he was talking about, slurring quite a bit, and saying irrational things. Mia said Diddy was threatening her job, threatening to kill her, threatening lots of threats, telling me he was on the phone with HR, even though I knew that wasn't true. The repeated calls and texts through KK, who was being pressured by Diddy, continued for days. Jury sees messages of Diddy threatening to tell everything. If you don't call me now, F it all, F ABC, F all lawyers. We might have read this already. Yeah, we read this already. Diddy told her, I've come to the conclusion that it's best that we no longer have any dealings. Whoo, y'all, this is getting me anxious myself. 11 minutes ago, Diddy's former assistant describes tiptoeing around Diddy. Mia testified that she emailed Diddy a few times, asking him to tell her what to do after he threatened her job. So he's threatening her job. I'm gonna fire you. I'm gonna live you. I'm gonna all this stuff. So she said she then started texting him like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do I come back? Do I stay here? Cassie says she wants me here, but I'll do whatever you say to do. The fees to change her flight were expensive, she said. So she emailed Diddy that she couldn't afford it herself. Remember, she only made $50,000 a year. She paid for her flights to South Africa with her own money, she wrote in the email. Quote, I need to make sure I'm following your instructions correctly, she wrote, and also told him that Cassie was upset and didn't want her to leave early. Diddy did not respond to the emails. But before that, he had directed Mia to go with Cassie to South Africa. She said, quote, I want to stay with Cass, but I don't want to make him mad. I'm tiptoeing. That's the way I would survive. So I didn't make him more mad or make him think that I thought what he was doing was wrong. And now this is the second time she said that. She's like, I didn't want to indicate to him that I thought what he was doing was wrong. Because if I did that, then he would get mad. So I had to act like what he was doing was just okay because I was caught in this trap. I was basically stranded in South Africa. She said it didn't matter what I wanted or what anyone else wanted. It matters what he wants, and he was in charge. We have another update from CNN.com. I was scared of him less than a minute ago. Diddy's former employee says she said she tried to run away from her job before she eventually left for good in 2017. But when she would try to run away, it didn't work. She said she felt that if she left, she would never be able to get a job somewhere else. Quote, he would have made sure of it. He would destroy my reputation. I was scared of him. Let's go to Inner City Press. Okay. So the most recent the most recent tweet we read from Inner City Press is okay. Is this right here where it was just another incident where Mia was suspended without pay for something that seemed like pretty not that big of a deal to be suspended without pay? It was where Mia had asked D-Rock, the security, and again, I think this might be leading up and building up to make D-Rock one of the co-defendants or the co-conspirators. D-Rock going to the doctor, some other errands. I asked D-Rock to give me a heads up before they came back because I wanted to be out of the way of Diddy because he was already mad at me about a shirt. So I wanted to be out of his sight whenever he got there. And then I got this email from HR that Diddy wanted me suspended. Next question. Mia, does this memo document the reasons you were suspended? No. HR just told me that Diddy said I was being insubordinate. Okay, so you didn't get so they didn't tell Mia the specific reasons she got suspended, just insubordination. You were being insubordinate. So you're suspended with no pay. The assistant U.S. attorney said, okay, did anything like that ever happen before where you got other documents like that from HR? Mia said, yes, I got these insubordination suspended without pay documents all the time. How did that make you feel when you got them? She said, so sad, like that I did something wrong, because why would you be getting insubordination suspensions without pay unless you actually did something bad? Okay. Did you continue working for Diddy? Yes. Did you feel like you could leave the job? She said, no, it wasn't a thought. Actually, I did try to run away before, but it didn't work. Did you feel like you could get another job after you left? No. She said, oh no. He would have made sure I couldn't get another job. She said, I was scared of him. When did you try to run away from your job? New Year's 2010 to 2011? Where were you? She said, I was in St. Barts. So this is like one of those islands where they go yachting and stuff. Who was there in St. Barts? New Year's 2010, 2011. And they're always doing the St. Barts and the New Year's, okay? Like, this is where Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber, I think, posted their first picture from a yacht. You know, it's always this New Year's things going on, okay, over there in those islands. And remember whenever Cassie was like, one of her issues was that she couldn't go to the New Year's parties. So New Year's 2010, 2011, where were you? St. Barts. And Russell Simmons loved St. Barts too, and Aoki. Who was there? She said, me, Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, Kim Porter, the kids, some others. And where did you stay? She said, I stayed on the yacht that Diddy chartered. Okay, so what did Diddy ask you to do on the yacht? She said, well, he asked me to count the money in the safe. He yelled that I was counting too slow. He chased me out and told me, you better learn to walk on water like Jesus, B word. Get the F out of here. Whose job was it to count the money normally? Mia said, it was normally security. I asked the crew to take me to land, but it was a hurricane or something. I hid on the 3rd floor. Who spoke to you? Kim Porter. She tried to console me and said, don't worry about it. I saw. She tried to console me. Kim Porter tried to console Mia. She said, don't worry about it. But then Mia says, I saw Diddy coming toward me and I hid in the crew cabin. Did the crew? Okay, so let me retweet this. So it's a hurricane and he's like, get off this boat. Okay. Did the crew take you to land in a tender boat? That's the little dinghy that they have, the little small boats that take you to the land. She said, yeah, but then I got a call. But then, okay. So did the crew take you back to land eventually? She said, yes, they did. But then they got a call that I had to come back onto the boat. Okay, question, were you able to leave the country? She said, no, I couldn't leave the country. My passport was on the boat. Diddy's staff had it. Why did Diddy's staff have her passport? I mean, that's just what I want to know. People can't hold on to their own passports. And this is a big checkbox in the S trafficking thing and the forced labor thing. Forced labor, if your boss has your passport and you can't leave a country willingly, it's big thing that they, that's a checkbox over there. Does it mean you're being trafficked? No, but it could. If you can't get it back and they're withholding your passport, you cannot leave. It's a big red flag. And this is one of the crimes that Diddy is alleged to have committed. So even if they can't do the RICO, we do have the forced labor that they're trying to also prove, which also has a serious sentence attached. So this is like stressing me out. They're in St. Barts on a yacht. They're yachting 2010, 2011. And Diddy has this Mia, the assistant, counting money from in a safe, but she's not doing it fast enough for him. So he kicks her out the room. Not only that, then he starts saying, you better learn how to walk on water like Jesus, and tries to kick her off the boat. But there was like a hurricane going on or something. So the team, the security squad, whatever, couldn't bring her back. But then eventually they did bring her back to the shore. Once she's on the shore, Diddy is like, you have to come back on the boat. And then the prosecutor's like, okay, did you have any other choice but go back on that boat? Like, could you have just left if you wanted to? Because that's what people are going to say. Why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just say, I ain't going back on that boat? I want to leave. And Oh man, I wonder if this is about to lead up to a Yacht incident with Mia of SA, because this would be labor trafficking and S trafficking for the purpose of prostitution, or transportation across international waters for the purpose of prostitution, or across state lines or whatever. I don't know. I'm just wondering if this is what they're trying to build up, because the prosecutor is asking, could you leave? Could you leave? Could you leave the country if you wanted to? She said, no, my passport was on the boat. Diddy's staff had my passport. So then obviously I had to go back to the boat. Did you go back to the boat? Yeah. She said, I was told to get in the car to go on the plane to Las Vegas with Diddy. In the car. Wow. Thank you, Barbie Gone Bad. To the people asking, why didn't she just leave? How many times do you have to hear different women say they tried, but they were forced to come back or be blackballed? Yes, his male assistants were able to leave. He didn't treat the men around him like this. That is interesting. That is interesting. They were able to leave. That is actually a good point. Because I'm kind of like, if I can find a way that things are equal on gender, I will. I kind of like, I'm not one of those people that's always like, oh, women have it the worst. I think everybody has their own individual struggles and things. And I can understand how sometimes, women have it harder with some things. But I'm generally not that person that's like, oh, women are always telling the truth or whatever. I like to take things case by case. But in this situation, actually, this case, it does look like the male assistants were allowed to leave and the female assistants haven't been so far from what we've seen, I reserve the right to change my mind. Wow. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, let's refresh. Kim Porter, though, consoling her. All right. Okay. Did you go back to the boat? Yes. I was told then to get into the car and go on the plane to Las Vegas with Diddy. And in the car, could you hear Diddy's call, his phone call? Yes. She said, Diddy was telling his chief of staff I needed to be suspended because of counting money and getting on the boat and going, like, because of what? Making up a story. I didn't get to finish. Diddy yelled, shut the up. So you finally left Diddy's companies in 2017? Yes. That was the same year he got that protector of women and babies tattoo on his back, just for those keeping track, with the white candle bingo card over there. You left Diddy's companies in 2017? Yes. I spoke with Brian Ofoot. We were editing the Bad Boy documentary. I was producing it. And what did Brian tell you? That Diddy wanted to end Revolt Films, and the company was going away. How did you feel about that? I think I saw snot coming out of my nose for a while. I was worried. I don't know what that means. I had been told Revolt Films was the only company that made any money that year. How did you feel? She said that I had done something wrong. What did Brian Ofoot say? I think that was the CEO of something, Bad Boy Enterprises or something. That they would work out a severance, but it was the holidays. Did you ever speak to anyone else? Mia said, yeah, I talked to KK, the chief of staff. I had a little bit of time to horrifically process what had actually fully happened. And KK said, you're still working on the documentary. Did you still work on the documentary? She said, yeah, until like March or April of what, 2017? She said, yeah, I worked on it till like March or April. And what did you do after that? She said, I cried myself to sleep. I ignored all the calls. Did you have conversations with Cassie after any of this? Mia said, no. Reason being, I could never tell. She was probably, I don't even like the word paranoid because it makes it seem like it's like unwarranted somehow, but she was probably like rightfully suspicious of like anybody at any time because even Mia herself says like the highs were high, the lows were low. So you could flip flop with Puff. And she's like, I could never really tell who was really with him at any given time. So no, I didn't respond to Cassie whenever she would reach out either. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So KK said Diddy couldn't believe I would go against him. And he does probably like freak out. Like, how dare they? Because I believe in his mind, he don't think he's doing anything wrong. I think he thinks he is entitled to treat people like this. He deserves it. And they're asking for it and they're agreeing to it. KK said Diddy could not believe Mia would go against him. Mia said I'd gotten an employment attorney. The chief of staff, Christina Karam, said Diddy could not believe it. She got a $10 million settlement from Diddy. What? Bombshell. Hold on, let me tweet this. Revelation. Victim-4, aka Mia, previously received a $10 million settlement from Diddy. Well, that is wow. So much stuff happens that if I don't tweet it like this, I kind of forget, like, even. It's just like by the end of the day, I'm just blurred. Okay. After 9 months, my attorney proposed a mediation. They asked for like 10 million. Who came up with that figure? My lawyers. Did you bring up the violent incidents? Yeah, a few of them. I felt that I was doing something horrible. I was breaking the idea of confidentiality, telling secrets. I felt wrong and shameful. Oh. Wait, I gotta go fix my tweet, girl. It wasn't 10 million. It was $200,000. I don't want to be spreading fake news. Hold on. Let me go fix my tweet. So she ended up getting $200,000 from this settlement, not 10 million. Let me delete this. All right. Got too excited. Got too eager. Okay. All right. I got an employment attorney. Did you get paid? After 9 months, my attorney proposed a mediation. They asked for like $10 million. Who came up with that figure? My lawyers. Did you bring up the violent incidents? Yeah, a few of them. I felt that I was doing something horrible. I was breaking the idea of confidentiality, telling secrets. I felt wrong and shameful. Did you bring up the SAs? Oh no. She said I was going to die with that. How much did you receive? $200,000. My lawyers also got $200,000. And what was that for? For bonuses that I hadn't been paid and for out-of-pocket expenses, like when I had to buy my own tickets to go do work things, etc. Would you return the money to have never had this happened? Oh, absolutely, Mia said. Do you have any other lawsuits against Diddy? No. Did you ever contact Diddy again? Yes, Mia says, when Kim Porter died. Also when Andre Harrell died. Did you ever tell him in those messages you loved him? She said, oh yeah. That's how I would speak to him. Are you aware of Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy? Yes, she says, November 2023. And have you spoken with Cassie since the lawsuit? Yeah. We talk a lot, then we don't. We both hide from our phones and the depression thing. Then a few days ago, just personal stuff and I love yous. Did you speak about your testimonies? Oh no, says Mia. Okay, we have 3 new updates from Washington Post. Okay. 27 minutes ago, Wesley Parnell from Washington Post, while Diddy was barraging his assistant Mia with threatening messages during the film shoot in South Africa, she testified a coworker asked her how the trip was going. Okay, so here's the quote. "It's okay. I'm still pretty mentally sore and have been having extremely horrible night terrors and anxiety so bad I can't breathe. But other than that, it's great. You?" Prosecutors are clearly trying to show the mental torment Diddy's associates experienced while working under him. 23 minutes ago, WashingtonPost.com, a dark picture of the culture at Diddy's companies is emerging as his former assistant Mia is testifying under the pseudonym Mia. To protect her privacy, she read aloud text messages demanding that she call Diddy immediately, or other HR messages suspending her for minor infractions. Quote, "I'd totally help, but he's firing me at the moment," Mia texted one of Diddy's managers after she purchased the wrong workout gear for Diddy. "LOL," the manager responded. Mia said she was suspended without pay for the incident. 9 minutes ago, Shayna Jacobs, Washington Post, quote, "He just went bat beep crazy on me because he didn't see all of his workout options folded and organized." Mia wrote in a message to one of Diddy's bodyguards, this is D-Rock, in 2011. She recounted as she testified about being harangued and punished for trivial mistakes. Quote, "He began cursing me out and getting angrier and angrier and going on a rant about the lack of options and how he hated certain things," Mia testified. She also said that Diddy told her she was fired over the clothing mishap, but ultimately she ended up being just suspended without pay. Mia previously said Diddy had extreme mood swings and repeatedly sexually assaulted her, often while she froze in fear of Diddy. 2 new updates from NBC. Okay, this is 21 minutes ago. NBC News, Adam Rice, Ying Fang, and David K. Lee. Mia testified about her recollection of a 2011 incident when she says Diddy reacted violently after he asked her to bring him some workout clothes. And Diddy apparently lost it when he disliked all the options. He was just screaming and cursing at me and wouldn't stop. And then something violent happened. Mia said she couldn't remember the exact details of the alleged violent act. When James Cruz, a bad boy manager, emailed Mia that day asking who in the company was handling the Kids' Choice Awards ticket requests. Okay, so here we go. We're getting the Kids' Choice Awards mentioned. Okay. 2011 Kids' Choice Awards. Diddy apparently had some ticket authority here. Okay. These are little Easter eggs. I don't know if it'll ever end up being important in this specific trial, but just for the purposes of the web, the Kids' Choice Awards, what is that? Nickelodeon. What is that? Paramount? Viacom? I don't know. I'm just trying to remember here. But the Kids' Choice Awards, Diddy or someone or in Diddy's company had ticket request authority. Look, when James Cruz, a bad boy manager, emailed Mia asking who in the company was handling Kids' Choice Awards ticket requests, she said, "I'd totally help, but he is currently firing me at the moment." Okay. 2 minutes ago, NBC News, Mia testified she stopped working for Diddy in 2017 after he decided to shut down Revolt Films. This is Marlena Linthang, Adam Rice, and Ying Fang. In the fall of 2016, Diddy no longer wanted to be involved in the Revolt Films. Oh, the fall of 2016, right before the election, right as Hillary Clinton was squealing into a microphone that she always has hot shosh. She always has hot shosh in her bag, even though nobody could ever uncover the rest of that supposed interview with the Breakfast Club in a brand new set that looked like it was in the back of a election campaign office into Revolt Microphones on the Breakfast Club. Right around that exact same time that was going on, Diddy no longer wanted to be involved in Revolt Films. Maybe he was getting too involved in Vote or Die. I don't know. Who knows? I wasn't there. Revolt Films is a media company founded by Diddy that Mia worked for as director. I wonder if he has anything to do with other media companies, like maybe ones that make hit pieces about YouTubers that talk about him. I'm just wondering. Or maybe ones that have YouTubers making videos. I don't know. Anyway, that's whenever she stopped working for him. She said she felt betrayed, confused, and rejected by the decision. She continued to work on a documentary project until the spring of 2017, and she testified that she was heartbroken by the decision to close Revolt Films, meaning she would lose her position. She also avoided calls from Diddy and his staff. She eventually hired an employment attorney to work out severance, which hurt Diddy. This freaking man. After 9 months of back and forth, she ended up with a sum of $400,000. She took home $200,000, and attorneys took the rest as compensation for bonuses owed, severance, and overtime, she said. Let's go to the Independent. Let's go to CNN. 2 new updates from CNN. 4 minutes ago, Mia says she felt betrayed when Diddy shut down the film company she worked for, but she didn't tell him herself. Tell her himself. Sorry, excuse me. Mia says she felt betrayed when Diddy shut down the film company she worked for, but he did not tell her himself. She testified about a 2016 meeting she had with Brian Offutt, who was then the chief operating officer at Combs Enterprises. At the time, Mia was working for Revolt Films, which was a part of Combs Enterprises. Out of the blue, this is a quote, he just said, "I hate to tell you this, but I talked to Mr. Combs and he no longer wants to be involved with film, so he basically wants to end Revolt Films." She said she was in shock and felt confused because Diddy had recently told her the film company was the only one that made any, there was only one of the companies that made any money that year. She said she also felt betrayed and rejected by the fact that Diddy wasn't telling her himself. Mia said she had been working on a Bad Boy documentary at the time of the meeting, and she continued to work on the documentary through early 2017 before she left. She said Diddy and other employees did eventually reach out to her after the documentary was finished, but she was too heartbroken to answer. 3 minutes ago, CNN.com, Diddy's ex-assistant describes being kicked off a yacht for counting money too slowly. Mia testified she was on a yacht with Diddy, Kim Porter, and his family off St. Barts for the New Year's Eve 2010-2011 holiday. Diddy angrily told her, Mia, to get off the boat because she was counting the money in his safe too slowly. He told me, "You better learn to walk on water like Jesus, B word. Get the F out of here." She hid on the boat away from Diddy before she eventually got a crew member to take her to shore. Once she got there, the yacht crew radioed saying Diddy wanted her back to the boat. Mia testified she didn't want to go back to the boat, but she obeyed Diddy's orders. Plans quickly changed yet again, and Diddy was then threatening Mia's job yet again, saying she had to go with him on a jet to Las Vegas. Mia testified she thought she was going to be fired, so she went. Hold on, I need to see. "2010. I'm looking to see if there's like any. Yeah, look at this. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at this. Hold on. 2010 New Year's Eve party tape resurfaces. Oh, this is 2010, not 2011. But this is his party the next year or the earlier year. Okay. I wanted to see like from 2011. Hold on, because I want to see what he was doing. (2011) Yeah, the Cosmopolitan. Look, it was the grand opening of the Cosmopolitan in Vegas. In 2011, Las Vegas welcomed the new year with a mix of celebrity events and large-scale celebrations. The Cosmopolitan Hotel, which had been open recently, hosted an exclusive concert. Jay-Z, Coldplay, Kanye West. Tens of thousands of people gathered on the Las Vegas Strip to count down to midnight. Cosmopolitan grand opening. The grand opening of the Cosmopolitan Hotel included a private concert with Jay-Z, Coldplay, and Kanye West. A private concert. So he made Mia fly to the private concert with him. Celebrity appearances in Vegas. Who was there? Rihanna, Kim Kardashian. Let me type Diddy. Stuck Diddy. Look, yep, look. So this is that night, or this is that. Oh, is that Benji Madden? Tell me that's not Benji Madden or Joel Madden. Who remembers Celebrity B? Who remembers Jay-Z? Who remembers all that? Exclusive interview with Chloe. Okay, look. Sean Diddy Combs raced over to the Cosmopolitan Hotel's New Year's Eve bash after hosting his own party at Las Vegas nightclub LAX, only to get stuck in an elevator for 25 minutes. What? Diddy arrived at the Cosmopolitan at 2 a.m. with his girlfriend Cassie and a crew that packed the elevator so tight that it jammed. After Diddy was finally free, he partied with Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye, and J-Lo. And Rihanna in the VIP boombox room at Cosmo's Marquee nightclub. A rep for Diddy didn't get back to us last night. So this is where he was heading off to. And Mia apparently was with him that night, according to her. She describes being kicked off the yacht. He told me, you better learn to walk on water. The yacht crew obeyed Puff's orders. She thought she was going to be fired if she didn't go to that thing, so she went. All right, let's go to Inner City Press. Yeah, Jay, that's what it said. I know. I mean, that's what it said. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'll tell y'all I was not there. Thank you to Life is Like a Box of Chocolates for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, LM, for the $10 super sticker. Thank you, Brooklyn Pencil. Good morning, Slay Slay. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Iris, for the $2 Oilo super chat. Thank you, BJ Mods. Awesome job. Thank you, Tina, for the $5 super chat. Check out Piers Morgan interview last night. Suge Knight blew my mind. He says Diddy shouldn't go to prison and he'll get off. Oh, that's shady. Thank you, Tina. I'll check that out. Thank you, Sunflower, for the $4.99 super chat. You're great and so smart. You knew what they were up to and how it all connects. It's all good. All roads leads to Britney Spears, y'all. Okay, let's see if we have any updates here. All right, we do. We have some more tweets. Okay. So after Cassie's lawsuit in 2023, did anyone contact you? Yes. Guess who contacted her, y'all? D-Rock. She said he was like my big brother. He said, how are you? What was your response? Her response was, D-Rock! Why all the exclamation points? She said, because I love exclamation points and D-Rock. She said, I understood D-Rock was no longer with Diddy. He and his wife had a restaurant in the Poconos. He wrote, I'm about to call you. What date was this? November 30th, 2023. And did D-Rock call you? Yes. And what happened on that call? Objection, Your Honor, objection. Objection. Brian Steele isn't having it. The judge is like, fine. Can you rephrase the question? Question. What did D-Rock say
to you on the call in November last year. Oh, 2 years ago, November 2023, right after Cassie's lawsuit was filed. Mia said, well, he started with personal stuff. Then he said, the news is crazy. D-Rock says, it wasn't like that. It was normal fighting. Okay. All right. We're getting some insight here. At some point, Diddy's lawyers were trying to get this testimony not even allowed in. Diddy's lawyers were trying to get this witness to not be able to go by a pseudonym. They wanted her to have to go by her real name, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of the argument was going back and forth. Also, bail. Diddy was trying to get bail. This has come up many times, this witness intimidation. I could not possibly tell you which argument and which document, but I certainly remember before Diddy's team making an argument about this particular situation and the government making the argument about this situation, saying Diddy is sending people to change people's perception or to send out feelers about people's perception of events that had happened. D-Rock calls up Mia or reaches out to Mia right after the Cassie lawsuit, right? When was Cassie's lawsuit filed? Sometime in November 2023. November 30th, 2023, D-Rock reaches out to Mia, this witness on the stand right now, and says, man, this news about Cassie's crazy, right? Yeah, no, I'm not with Diddy any longer. No, I'm not with Puff anymore. Me and my wife got a restaurant in the Poconos. We're not with Diddy no more. But I'm gonna call you. He called her. What happened on the call? He started talking about personal stuff, the restaurant, the Poconos, the kid, whatever. Then he said, wow, what's going on with this news? Crazy, right? It was just like normal fighting between Diddy and Cassie. What the hell? I mean, can't even believe her. What a bitch. And the assistant U.S. attorney is like, was this normal fighting? Like D-Rock was trying to tell you on the phone? Mia said, absolutely not. D-Rock said, Puff misses you. I bet he does. And then he implied, everyone misses you. Oh, everybody misses you. We love you so much. Don't sue us, basically. Mia said, I immediately thought, oh my God, objection, Your Honor, objection. The judge looks over and is like, on what grounds, Brian Steele? What grounds are you objecting? And Brian's like, non-responsive. She's about to say something that wasn't even asked. The judge is like, okay, can we have a sidebar? Can we just get it together? Okay, so they come back. Okay, next question. Question, Nia. Where in that call did D-Rock say that he was at that time? That he had just landed in Miami. Remember, the Poconos is all the way over here in what is it, Pennsylvania and New York? That's where the Poconos, like all the way on the East Coast. He was flying down to Miami. It was right after, let me see the exact date of Cassie's lawsuit. Somebody likes my Hillary impression. Hot shot. I'm serious, hot shot. It's because of the dentures. That's why she talks like that. Cassie sued Diddy. Date, Cassie sued Diddy. November 16th. She filed a lawsuit on November 16th, 2023. And on November 17th, 2023, they settled it. For now, we know $20 million. So 2 weeks later, D-Rock, who allegedly don't have nothing to do with Diddy anymore, is on a plane on the way back to go take care of who? Christian, a grown man, but he needs to be taken care of. Whoa, this is crazy. This does kind of feel like witness intimidation. Diddy, former bodyguard, contacts Victim-4, aka
Mia to ask her to make a statement about Diddy and the lawsuit. They tried to get this out, according to testimony just now. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is I think this testimony is just as big as Cassie's, truly. What the little pieces, the little bricks that are getting laid. Where did D-Rock say he was? He said he had just landed in Miami. He was going to be at Diddy's house and he was going to go take care of Christian. D-Rock, allegedly former bodyguard, but still doing Diddy's bidding, said, maybe you could say something, Mia. How did you respond when he asked you to do that? Mia said, I pretended that I was going to talk to Puff. Did you want to? She said, no, with a bunch of O's. For those y'all that's laying tile, there's a bunch of O's. There's 4 O's. Mia said, I was scared. He called me right after D-Rock. So D-Rock did the priming, and then here come Diddy calling. How did you react when Diddy called you? She said, I threw my phone behind the couch and ran out of the room. Why? She said, it was just so triggering. Did you hear from D-Rock again? Yes. And what did he write? That your boy doesn't want you to do anything. Just to talk. I didn't want to talk to him though. I just wanted it all to go away. Y'all, this timeline. I need ChatGPT to make a massive timeline of all the testimony combined. What did D-Rock write? He said, your boy doesn't want to do anything. Your boy doesn't want you to do anything. Just wants to talk. Mia said, I did not want to talk to my boy. I just wanted it to go away. Then what did D-Rock write to you? Looks like a threat. To me, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not reading the text messages. It's just my opinion. Mia said, then D-Rock wrote back, I can't believe you not hitting me back. And that was on February 22nd, 2024. When was Diddy's houses raided? The next month. Mia said, I knew he wouldn't stop, so I wrote back. I was scuba diving all day and I didn't have my phone on the boat. Was that true? No. I told D-Rock I called Puff, but there was no answer. I just wanted to play neutral. She's describing how she was approached to make a PR statement. Now, we do have people who have made PR statements. I think Kalena Harper was one. That wasn't my experience, etc. We have witnesses now who are withdrawing. They don't want, if she is about to testify that she was offered money, I'm going to have a stroke. I'm not really. That was a figure of speech. I knew it. Oh my God. I'm a psychic. My head wasn't even tingling on that one, y'all. D-Rock said, how can I send you something? What did you think he meant? Mia said, money. I said, I don't want any money. I'm always ready to help y'all out. Then D-Rock wrote back, quote, I'm allowed to send my sister a gift, right? Playing on the family. It's going to help. It's going to help the family. It's going to help Amanda. Remember that? The family. It's psychological. Okay. This is called psycholinguistics and it is manipulative. Is it on purpose? I don't know. Maybe it's got to be on purpose to be manipulative, but it makes you think, oh no, yeah, this is a sister-brother relationship. I'm allowed to send my sister a gift. The assistant U.S. attorney said, did he send you a gift? Mia said, no. What did you think D-Rock was trying to do with these text messages, Mia? Mia said, I think that D-Rock was trying to find out for Diddy if I was a legal threat or some other type of threat. Did Diddy text you in February 2024? This is the month before the raids, y'all. Yes. He said, call me when you have 10 minutes, comma, love. What about this one from February? February 7th, 2024. Again, the month before his homes got raided. In this one from February 7th, 2024, Diddy said, quote, "I need my memory jogged." So he was trying to get his story straight, in my opinion. That's what I think the prosecutors are trying to lay down. Did you respond when he was trying to get his memory jogged? No, I didn't want anything to do with him. He is the person I was traumatized by. I knew this was all a front. Was this the last message? I think so. I mean, I did get some objection. Objection, Your Honor. Don't let this woman speak. Don't let her say what she wants to say on the stand. And then that's Brian Steele. And the judge is like, okay, fine. Shh, don't say anything else. I got to do it to get through the day. You know, I add a little bit of sensationalism. Okay, 1 minute ago. Do you work now, Mia? No, I don't have a job. I have PTSD. Sidebar, they come back. What are your symptoms? She said, misinterpreting emails. Someone calls my name from across the room. All the feelings of getting in trouble come flooding back. I triple guess myself. Let's see if we have any updates from, we have 3 new updates from Washington Post. Mia says she felt trapped on Diddy's yacht. She said Diddy became irate with her after she took too long to count his money on a chartered yacht off St. Barts on New Year's Eve in 2010. She testified she tried to flee. She got crew members to take her to the shore. But Diddy's staff had her passport, and so she was forced to return to the yacht. I was just overwhelmed with fear that I would be in huge trouble. I would definitely be fired, and I didn't have a way out of it. He would have destroyed my reputation. Yeah, I was scared of him. 19 minutes ago, Washington Post Wesley Parnell. When Mia finally quit her job as Diddy's assistant in 2017, she was told by executives at the company to retain an attorney to negotiate back wages, bonuses, and severance. But she testified this enraged Diddy. Diddy said he couldn't believe I essentially stabbed him in the back because I had a lawyer. She said her attorney advised her to file for a settlement given the extent of the abuse she experienced under Diddy. She said she split a $400,000 settlement from Diddy with her lawyers. The former Diddy assistant, 18 minutes ago, Wesley Parnell, testified under the pseudonym Mia. She said she kept a bit more than half of the $400,000 settlement he paid to her after she quit. Her lawyers took the rest. When asked if she would give back the money to erase the abuse that she endured, she said, absolutely, in a second. Three new updates from CNN. Ex-assistant, 13 minutes ago, CNN.com. Ex-assistant says Combs believes she stabbed him in the back after she hired employment attorneys. Employment attorneys in 2017 to help her negotiate a severance and bonus package. She said Christina Karam, the former chief of staff of Diddy, spoke with her on behalf of Diddy, who believed that Mia stabbed him in the back. Mia's attorneys originally made a settlement offer of $10 million to Diddy and his companies, she testified. After months of long negotiation process, Mia said they settled for $400,000. Around that time, she said she told some people about the violence she endured from Diddy, but she did not mention the assaults. She actually said she would take those to her grave. Okay, we got an incoming update. That's 56 minutes ago. Let's go to Mirror. Mia felt trapped. This is going to be big. This is not domestic violence, everybody. This is employee-employer, okay? They were not in a romantic relationship. Now, is Diddy's lawyers going to come up here and say they were carrying on behind Cassie's back? Maybe. And that might be why they steal in the thunder of that argument now. Heartbroken, decision to close the company. So he can stab her in the back by closing down the company and not even telling her about it. But if she gets a lawyer, he's stabbed in the back. Witness testifies Diddy reached out to her after Cassie lawsuit. After Cassie filed her lawsuit against Diddy, Mia said Diddy reached out to her, but she steered clear of him. The government showed a February 7th, 2024 email from Diddy. This is last year, February. So Diddy had emailed Mia using kind words, asking for a phone call to have my memory jogged on a few things. No, get away from me. Mia said she did not respond. She said, I was terrified. I know this was a front. She said she hasn't been able to work because she has post-traumatic stress disorder. She hasn't been able to work. She said, I suffer from severe complex PTSD. She explained that normal situations are overwhelming and she feels triggered when someone asks her, where are you? Even if someone just says, where are you? Or if someone yells her name across the room. Okay, they're taking a short break, so I'm going to also take a short break and go to the restroom. I'll be back in like less than 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? Okay. Wow. This has been a pretty crazy morning, huh? Let's go to Inner City Press. Okay, we have a little bit more here. Who caused this PTSD? She said, Puff. And then the judge said, let's take a break. So they're on one of those 10-minute breaks. Oh, Lord. What was happening this morning, y'all? That was crazy. That was really crazy. This will get worse as it goes on, somebody said. Do we all think Diddy was trying to do the same thing as he did with Natalia Rubin? Maybe. Thank you, Lady J. Shout out to you becoming a member. Thank you, Kathy, for the $10 super chat. You're doing a great job. I was happy to see you on Popcorn Planet too. Love Tisa Tells. Greetings from St. Petersburg, Florida. Frank Black in the chat trying to astroturf Mia's identity. But thanks for the $1.99. I'm definitely not showing that comment. And you getting banned. Oops. For you. But thanks for the $1.99. I love it when the AstroTurf bots gotta pay me to read their AstroTurf comments. Okay. Thanks so much to Starbright Tarot for the $3 Australian super sticker. Thank you, Back Alley Scam Chats, for the $2 Canadian. I wonder if they have a video from his 40th birthday. I should look it up. Thanks so much to Pandilore for the $8. Love the excellent coverage with the side of sass. Please share Cash App with Inner City Press. I don't do X. Okay. Does he have can Ahmad drop one of Inner City Press's Cash App link or his PayPal or something? Thanks so much for the $8 super chat. Thank you, Mama Hens, Catholic Teaching for the $9.99. Keep letting your light and the light of Jesus shine. Well, I don't know if Jesus approves, but amen, Jesus. Thank you for the $9.99. Thank you, Fiona, for the €11.99 Oilo. Curly Pop, I wake up in the AM excited for your stream, not feeling like P. Diddy. Wake up in the morning feeling like I gotta watch the P. Diddy trial. Is that kind of the new one? Thank God I'm unemployed and can witness the Lord's work on your channel. There it is. High five from a German cousin. Shout out to my German cousins. Okay. So cute, so tschüss. Is that what y'all? Bitte schön, danke schön für die €11.99. I forgot my numbers already, girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Nyone Bullard. Thank you for all you do. You will always get paid for your overtime working for God. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Hammy, for the $5 super chat. Bro, Chappelle made a whole skit about Diddy interns assistants. Oh, did he? I gotta watch that. Thank you for the $5. Thank you for the $4.99 Shayla Kids Choice Awards. Of course, it's Nickelodeon, Dan Schneider, Diddy. It's all coming together in that webbing. Shout out to Sussex Sandra for the £4.99. Great for the great live streams every day that I listen while I'm at work. While at work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sussex Sandra. Shout out to Ashley. Thank you becoming a member. Shout out to Dustin. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Jamil Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy, said Diddy tried to hug me from the back. You better run. You better run. Better get away. Thank you for the $1.99. My uncle Dut from the 504 in the chat. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Salute. Thank you so much. Got my uncles in the chat. Nobody ever mess with me. The good witches and my uncles. Deidre, hello from Ireland. Thank you so much for all your hard work, especially when you're unwell. I'm starting to feel better. Shout out to New Brunswick. No, I actually didn't watch this Chappelle show. I found it to be a little bit like crass. I mean, I was like a kid, you know. Thank you, Diamond. For removing Frank. We do have an update from CNN. Let's see what they're doing over there. All right. Okay. We get a little bit more insight, a little bit more details into the harm, the PTSD that this assistant said that she suffered from working for Diddy. She can't work no more. She got PTSD. She says she hasn't been able to work from the severe PTSD. She says, okay, this is a quote. I would have to leave because I would be triggered by really normal situations with like an overwhelming sense of fear of being in trouble. As an example, she said when someone would ask her, "Where are you?" she was immediately triggered. If somebody just wanted to get a coffee, she was flooded with the fear of having to explain where she was because she could be in trouble. When she was asked who caused those feelings of fear, etc., she said it was Puff. "12 minutes ago, this is at Fox News. Sometimes they're hit or miss, but they do have some stuff the other ones don't have sometimes. So let's read this. Diddy's ex-assistant testifies she didn't quit over fears rapper would destroy her reputation. Mia told the jury she didn't leave her job working for the rapper over fears he would ruin her reputation. Mia testified that she continued working for Diddy until 2017. According to Mia, she did not feel like she could leave because she had tried to run away before and it didn't work. She also didn't think that she could get another job because Diddy would make sure of it. She told prosecutors she believed Diddy would have destroyed her reputation. Oh, former assistant 26 minutes ago. See, look. Former assistant once told Diddy's security that rapper was psycho. And then she was suspended. Okay. So nobody was tweeting or posting that it was a psycho. She called him psycho. That's why she got suspended. March 2011, she told Diddy's security guard, D-Rock, in an email that Diddy was psycho and went crazy because he didn't see all his workout clothes. She asked D-Rock for a warning before Diddy came back home because she was afraid she would face the same thing and be in trouble. After this incident, HR told Mia Diddy wanted her suspended without pay. He also suspended her after she witnessed violence. According to Mia, she was either chased or reacting to a violent situation by Diddy. She was once allegedly suspended for oversleeping after being awake for days. The jury was shown notice from the head of HR to Mia in 2011. Mia explained before she got the document, she was suspended without pay. She said she had been at Diddy's home in LA. He was allegedly coming in from a hotel and had asked for a lot of options for workout clothes, which was typically the stylist's job. According to Mia, Diddy wasn't in the best of moods that day and didn't notice that she had laid the options out for him. He began allegedly cursing her out and getting angrier and angrier and going on a rant about the lack of options and how he hated certain things. Mia claims she tried to point out the other options. That made him even more angry. And it was really, he was just screaming and cursing at me, she said. But I don't know, something violent happened. I really don't even exactly remember. She testifies that she would be abused if she disobeyed Diddy. She claimed she would physically or emotionally be abused if she disobeyed him. Y'all saw that light. From past experience, it didn't matter what he wanted. From past experience, it didn't matter what I wanted or anyone else wanted. He was in charge. We have another update from CNN, the scene inside the courtroom this morning. We got to get our daily update on the scene inside the courtroom. 2 minutes ago, CNN.com. Mia's demeanor on the stand is guarded. During her testimony, her head is bowed down, with the part in her hair being the most visible feature of her face. So she's got her head down. She ain't even trying to look up. Poor girl. Long bangs hang past her eyes, shielding them from view. Diddy blew a kiss to his mama, Janice, who's seated on the second row behind him with his sons and his sister. His daughters are still not in court. Let's go to, we already read that one. Washington Post got anything? Yes, they have a new update. Okay, we have two updates from Washington Post. This one is from Wesley Parnell 11 minutes ago. After Cassie filed her bombshell lawsuit against Diddy in 2023, Mia testified that his bodyguard, or maybe it was his former bodyguard, it was D-Rock, texted her and asked her to issue a statement supporting Diddy. I threw my phone as far as it would go. This is a quote. I threw my phone as far as it would go and it went behind the couch and I ran outside. It was just so triggering, end quote. Mia, who's using a pseudonym, told the jury. Mia said she dodged calls and texts from Diddy and the bodyguard for months. For months they called her. She would make up excuses like, I'm scuba diving or whatever. She pretended, yeah, of course I will, no problem. She said, because I was terrified of him. We have another update from CNN. This one is from 1 minute ago. Oh man, this is just wow. The thing about it is Diddy is innocent until proven guilty, but I think probably all of us have dealt with a person who is like this, not necessarily the extremes of getting treated any certain type of way or whatever, but just like this personality type. I think all of us have had some experience with someone like this and just put you so on edge, right? Like, look at this. It's so predictable. Mia says Diddy changed from nasty to nice when he needed her help. A text message that Diddy sent Mia just last year while his reputation was crumbling in the face of public assault accusations, markedly different in tone from the abusive way he treated her when she worked for him. Diddy texted Mia, the court pseudonym for the witness, in February last year that he didn't want to be blowing up her phone, She previously testified that he once left her 48 irate messages and missed calls in a single night. Quote, oh, we get quotes from Diddy. Oh my God, this is crazy. Quote, this is Diddy. You were my right hand for years, so I just need to speak to you to remember who was even around me. And it would be good to hear your voice. But if you don't want to, all good. Just let me know. Love. He signed off with emojis, a heart, and praying hands. This message came as Diddy's former security guard, D-Rock, was also pressuring Mia to publicly support Diddy as he faced SA lawsuits and a federal criminal investigation. Quote, I wanted nothing to do with him, said Mia. Love. Okay, they're back. They're back from the break. Announcement. They're back. Oh, life lessons. Send it to life lessons. So where do you want me to send this timeline? Send it to ThatSurpriseWitness@gmail.com. Not the prayer hands, Miss Tammy. He has really misappropriated the black prayer hands. I mean, I'm not really in the position to like revoke his black prayer hands privileges, but can the committee come together and make him stop using it? And the word love. I want to revoke his ability to call himself love. No, I want to make a copyright claim on the behalf of love. Diddy is not remorseful, they said. Okay. Somebody remind me in a few minutes after we're caught up to go and look at that timeline. That's cute. That's cool. I wanted that. Okay. Okay, they're back. So Mr. Steele, Brian Steele, is making a question, a request about binders full of women or something. Okay, they're back. The judge says, okay, I don't know if the jury is back in. It's just the lawyers back in now. I get distracted when I'm reading other people's tweets. Okay, so the judge says to Brian Steele, Mr. Steele, can you put the binders, the exhibits binders on the jurors' chairs? Okay. All right. So we're putting binders on chairs for the jurors, and they're getting ready to bring the jurors back in. The jurors just had a bathroom break. I assume they're going to be going on lunch in about an hour. That's what they have been doing. So let's see if they've gotten started yet here. All right, let's go here. Washington Post. All right, let me check my email then, see if it's out. See if I got that email yet. Because I wanted like I was like, oh, someone put all the testimony of all day into a master timeline to see how it all added up. And someone's like, let me tell me where to send it. Okay, it's not in yet. It's not here yet. Okay, that's fine. We're getting back started on the trial. All right, we got another update from the Washington Post. Let me pull that up. This is again Wesley Parnell. Diddy's former assistant said she struggled to find new work due to long-term mental health effects from her employment. Basic interactions like responding to emails or simple questions became increasingly difficult to handle. She testified in a sometimes shaky voice Friday, taking deep breaths as she spoke. I would be triggered by really normal situations. If someone said my name from across the room, all those feelings of getting in trouble would come flooding back, and I triple guessed myself in everything I did. The jury took a short break after that before the assistant comes back to be cross-examined. Okay, so the direct examination is over. All right, so we're about to get started with the cross-examination. This is Brian Steele. Diddy's lawyer is about to come ask some questions, and Brian Steele is not, to my knowledge, known for being very low-key or chill. Not sure how this is going to go over. Okay, we got another new update from CNN. Mia is back on the stand, and defense attorney Brian Steele is starting his cross-examination. Order in the court. Witness is back on the stand. Mr. Steele, you may begin your cross-examination of the witness. I just like playing with my little props, y'all. Okay. Shout out to Fox News. I got to give it to them. They do put some quotes in here. Okay. 11 minutes ago, Diddy's former assistant once tried to run away from him in St. Barts. Mia testified she went to New Year's Eve trip in 2010 with Diddy, Kim Porter, the kids, and an executive assistant. Oh, who was the executive assistant? Mia said she stayed on a yacht that Diddy chartered during the trip. According to her, Diddy asked her to count the money in a safe. She counted it, and Diddy got really mad. She was counting too slow. She claimed she was in shock because he got irate, and she was trying to count and make sure it was right. Mia said Diddy chased her out of the room and cursed at her. Mia testified that the money was more than $100 and explained security would normally count that money. Okay. She said she ran to hide on the yacht and begged the crew to get back to the mainland, but it was like a hurricane, so they couldn't. And this is reminding me of the other time she said yesterday they had to get on the paddle boards and row out on the paddle boards. And Diddy was like running back and forth on the beach to the back of the private house or whatever. And they were like rowing out on paddle boards, and then the weather got really bad and was going to be a hurricane, and she had to face Mother Nature or face Diddy. So this is another time where there's like a hurricane and he kicks her off the boat. And this is also, Cassie said he also kicked her off the boat. Now, it was unclear if he like literally threw her off the boat or if he just kicked her off the boat. Like get off the boat, go on a little dinghy, or if he like physically threw her body overboard. With the Cassie one. But this is apparently something within his pattern or practice of kicking people off the boat. She said she saw Diddy come down to the third floor, super angry. So she ran down the stairs and hid in the crew cabin. Mia eventually got to shore, and the captain got a call that she had to come back. Mia did not want to go back. She said, I just wanted to run and hide and figure out a way out of St. Bart's, away from him. But she couldn't leave because someone on Diddy's staff had her passport. When she went back, that's when she went back, because she felt she had to. I obeyed Puff's orders. According to Mia, she then traveled with Diddy to Las Vegas for the New Year's Eve trip. She claimed she got into a car with Diddy, who was on the phone with someone, and he was telling a story that wasn't true, allegedly. She said she interrupted Diddy, but she didn't get to finish because Diddy screamed at her and told someone else to deal with Mia. The ex-assistant claimed she was told to get on the jet and do what Diddy said. Wow. This is a lot more details than we had previously gotten. She testified then she did go to Vegas. Quote, I didn't think I had a choice, she said. She said she was, quote, overwhelmed with fear, and she would be in trouble or fired, and she had no way out. Remember, she didn't even have enough money to change her flight in the South Africa thing. 1 minute ago, we get another update from Fox News. Diddy's ex-assistant didn't disclose alleged S assaults. She wanted to unalive with those secrets. Like she wanted to take that to her grave, she said. She explained why she didn't disclose that Diddy had SA'd her while testifying today. She told the jury that there was a mediation after she left Diddy's company in 2017. According to Mia, her attorney asked for $10 million. Mia revealed some of the physical abuse during the mediation, but she felt really wrong and shameful because she was trying to break the confidentiality, or because she was breaking the confidentiality. The former assistant claims she did not reveal anything about the S assaults because she wanted to take those to her grave. She settled for about $400,000, and she personally received about $200,000. She said after the mediation, she did speak with Diddy in November 2018 when Kim Porter died. She was the mother of Diddy's children. Mia reached out to Diddy. She claimed she felt terrible for Diddy and his family and believed the mediation was her fault. We got another update from NBC. Cross-examination about to begin. I think it already began. They're a little late. All right, let's go to Inner City Press. All right. Okay, this is Brian Steele, attorney Brian Steele, asking questions of Mia. This is the beginning of the cross-examination. Mia has been on the stand for over a day of trial, or about a full day. All rise, everybody come in, jury's in, she's in, Mia's in, Brian Steele stands up. Mia, Brian Steele says, because of Sean Combs, you suffer a great deal, right? Right. Just seeing him call your phone made you throw the phone. True? True, Mia said. He made you do things that are unthinkable. Isn't that right? Mia said, that is right. True. Making you sleep in a room with a lock and with no lock, unlocked, and coming in and violating you in the most unthinkable way. Isn't that right? Mia said, true. You said Diddy's conduct was the worst thing that ever happened to you. Didn't you say that? Mia said, yes. All right, Mia, Brian Steele says, I want to direct your attention to the notebook in front of you. Your Honor, I move to admit Defense Exhibit 1702 and 1710. The Assistant U.S. Attorney said, Your Honor, these are under seal. Okay, so they go back and forth over whether to put this in, redacted, not redacted, whatever it comes in, whatever. But regardless if we're going to see it or not, Mia is looking at it right now. And what is it? This is a social media post by you from 2013, isn't it? Mia said, yup. And Brian Steele says, this is your personal account. This is what you're doing. Yes, it's my personal account. And you wrote, quote, this is what we do when you're not around. I am Diddy, Ciroc. Didn't you write that? Mia said, yeah. You tagged him years after you say he R'd you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is July 4th, 2013. Whose hands are these in the picture? Mia said the hands are me and Cassie. My hands and Cassie's hands. From a July 4th, 2013 post. So during the time Cassie was still dating Diddy. One new update from Washington Post. Shayna Jacobs, Washington Post. Defense lawyer Brian Steele has begun to cross-examine Mia, a former assistant to Diddy, who has testified under a pseudonym that she was berated, assaulted, and sexually abused by him. Just refreshing the different sources. Okay, we have another update just from Mirror. This is from the previous part, but it does. I think it gives the quotes of the text that Diddy sent to Cassie. This is like right after, not Cassie, Mia. This is right after Cassie sued Diddy in 2023. Diddy and his bodyguard, or his former bodyguard, maybe he was still his bodyguard, D-Rock, are texting other people, I guess presumably other people, but definitely this lady, according to her testimony, Mia. And she's like, he continued reaching out from November through February. So November, when Cassie sued, he starts reaching out, and then February, like for months. Hey, Mia, it's Puff. Please let me know when you get 10 minutes to talk. Love. She told the court she was terrified and didn't respond. She got another one February 7th. Hey, I don't want to be blowing up your phone. Just need to talk to you for 10 minutes. Just. It's not a big deal. I just need to talk to you for 10 minutes. Y'all think it would have lasted 10 minutes? Hell no, it would have been longer than that. Just need my memory jogged. Then the other guy was like, can't a brother send his sister a gift? And she was like, don't send me nothing. You were right. You were my right hand. This is Diddy to Mia. You were my right hand for years. So just to speak to you, to remember who was even around me. And it would be good to hear your voice. But if you don't want to, all good. Just let me know. No, I don't have to let you know shit, actually. Last I checked, I don't work for you. She didn't answer, I guess. Speaking to the court, she said, I didn't want anything to do with him at all. He was the person I was traumatized by. There's Brian Steele. Defense attorney begins cross-examination. Brian Steele begins by asking Mia whether she suffered a great deal because of Diddy, and if she developed a trauma. Yes, Mia responds to both questions. When asked whether Diddy's conduct was the worst thing that ever happened to her, yes, she replied. She also says that at times she wanted to unalive herself. That's new news. Okay, so this is also the scrapbook. Remember there was a notebook that referenced Diddy's Biggie's unalive, Biggie Smalls unaliving, and she had like a scrapbook or some clippings made together, and the judge was like kind of like not wanting it to come in. Maybe some parts could come in. I think this is her like personal like notebook, scrapbook, whatever. Okay, so you wrote rich as F in this social media post. And CC, who is CC? Mia said, Cassie. What does CC stand for? CC. What does CC stand for? Mia said, I don't know. It's just a nickname. Have you heard Cassie Combs? Mia said, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see it being Cassie Combs. Here you say he got coffee for you, though in Forbes list. I don't know what that means. Mia said, yeah. Did he got me coffee one time? I don't know what exactly they're trying to say here. Brian's like, here you say he got coffee for you, though in Forbes list. So I guess they're just trying to make it seem like, oh, you had a good time sometimes. You had fun sometimes. So that means you couldn't have been abused, I guess. I don't know where he's going with it. I don't exactly know what he's asking. Let me see if there's more context from other sources. I'm just refreshing through the other sources. Some of these. Shout out to Mary. Thank you for the 99 super chat. Thank you, Boy Mom X3. Us Virgos just know. We don't know why or how we know. We just know. Exactly. It does feel like that. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Thanks so much, Ashley, for the $10 super chat. You're awesome. With feds having these videos, do you think it was multi-purpose of the raids? Why now? Was Diddler threatening to release tapes of those on the videos? You know, I have been thinking this, Ashley. Like, I don't know. Obviously, who knows? None of us know because we haven't seen these tapes. But it does make me wonder, you know, if he was threatening all these people that we've heard testify with releasing tapes, what's to have stopped him from threatening people that he had at his parties from releasing tapes? And I mean, he's brazen about it too. I'm telling everything. Oh my God. I wonder if he got chills when he heard me tell Lou Taylor, I'm going to be telling everything that you tried to do to me. Wonder if she got chills from Diddy saying that so many times. Now, I'm sure Lou Taylor would say she had no idea none of this was going on. She had nothing to do with this. She's just the accountant. But I don't know how they get through this trial without calling Lou Taylor. I don't know how they get through this trial without calling her. If they do, it's going to be suspicious to me. I don't know. Thanks so much, Ashley, for the $10 super chats. Shout out to Zion Leanne becoming a member. Thanks so much, Emily, for the $5 super chat. Good morning, cousin. This case is wild. Thank you for everything you do. Your commentary and input is perfect. Love you, mean it all. Shout out to the cousins in the chat. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's see if we got another update here. This seems to be getting off to a slower start than the direct. Here we go. All right. And so this is Brian. This is so funny. Okay. Not funny like in that way, but like in a good way. Like, yes, it's the truth. Don't let them make you ashamed of the truth. If it's the truth, it's just the freaking truth. Brian still said to Mia, you say he made you take substances against your will at Burning Man, but you posted about it? Right, Mia said. You posted a picture with him, a man terrorizing you? Mia said, yeah. And this video depicting Mr. Combs as a doctor delivering your baby? I might not would have showed that one, Brian. I would have kept that one in the archives. The hell? She said it was a funny video. I was proud to be in it. So it's like none of these questions are landing. So he's not asking further questions. There's new questions. Okay, fine. Next question. Diddy's birthday is significant to you too. You did 2 shots with him, right? She said, yeah. 40th birthday. That's what we're talking about here. And the alcohol just simply overcame you, didn't it? Mia said, yeah, I got really drunk from the 2 shots. Do you believe you were drugged? Mia said, I didn't say that. This is a dangerous question to ask because what if Mia does believe she was drugged? Now she never said that. But if he's pushing her on her belief, what if she does? She's going to say, yeah, I do. Actually, I think you did. Now that you mention it, I wasn't going to say that, but you brought it up. That's why they always tell you on cross-examination, especially, but just generally, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. Because it might be an answer that's not good for you, that you don't want. Okay, there's another tweet. Okay, Brian Steele says. Okay, Brian Steele says, a person you really don't know put his mouth on your mouth without your permission, right? Mia said, yeah, that happened at his birthday, the shot situation. His hands up your dress, onto your person. You remember that? Yeah, I do. It was paralyzing? Yeah, it was. You wake up the next day in a chair. You told the jury that? This is the treatment I thought they were going to give Cassie. You wake up in a chair. You told the jury that? I did, Mia says. But this message and this one, another, the same day, posting the anniversary of you being SA'd by Sean Combs, according to your testimony. She said, I don't celebrate it as the anniversary of that, you freaking weirdo. Okay, I'm taking some liberties, all right, but this is probably what she thinks in her mind. It's his birthday too. I mean, more than one thing can happen on a day, Brian Steele. You think I'm celebrating the anniversary of me being SA'd? Please, get a brain scan. This is me sensationalizing what I think she's probably. I'm being the anger translator. But she basically said, I don't celebrate it as that. But yeah, that is his birthday. And yeah, that did happen on his birthday. Let's go to Washington Post. We got a new update from Washington Post. Brian Steele, the lead attorney. No, this isn't the lead attorney. Agnifilo is the lead attorney. But he is the attorney who is cross-examining Mia. He's the lead attorney for that part of it. Has grown in prominence as a tactile and sharp defense lawyer, recently defending the rapper Jeffrey Lamar Williams, or Young Thug, and his music empire from racketeering charges in Atlanta. Steele reached a level of superstar clout among hip-hop artists after Young Thug avoided serious prison time. The hip-hop artist Drake recently released a track entitled Brian Steele, where he shouts out the attorney before going on a rap about leaving his side piece to go party with the guys. Okay, just updating the other sources. Waiting for some new stuff to come in. Okay. 5 minutes ago, Mia claims Diddy's security called after Cassie's lawsuit, and she says an alarm went off. She testified she received a call from Diddy and his security after Cassie filed her civil lawsuit in November 2023. Diddy's security guard D-Rock texted the former assistant after Cassie's lawsuit. Mia claimed she was excited to hear from D-Rock because she didn't think he was still working for Diddy at that point. November 30th, 2023, D-Rock called Mia. According to Mia, he started catching her up on his life, but then he switched to what was going on with Diddy. We get more quotes from what that entailed. Quote, Puff and Cass would just fight like a normal couple. She recalled the security guard telling her on the phone. Mia said her alarm went off because D-Rock didn't talk like that. The ex-assistant claimed D-Rock had witnessed the violence between Diddy and Cassie. Mia and D-Rock sounded nervous. Mia said D-Rock sounded nervous and he was talking in circles. He allegedly told her that Diddy missed her and other people also missed her and agreed that Diddy and Cassie had fought. Mia said she chose to keep her mouth shut. Mia said D-Rock told her he was in Miami and she understood him to be at Diddy's home. So maybe Diddy was like pushing him on the call or whatever. And I will tell y'all, I don't know because I wasn't there, but when my boss called me with the Lou Taylor stuff and was trying to make me stop making videos about her after he had already given me permission to make videos about her, it did seem like somebody else was in the room also telling him stuff because it was like he was talking in circles and he clearly did not know the facts. He did not know the facts. He was just saying stuff as if it was true and it wasn't true. So I don't know. Maybe this is a tactic from them. I don't know. I wasn't there. I have no idea. I'm just making stuff up. Really, I don't know. According to Mia, it sounded like they wanted to get her to say something publicly. She testified that she did not want to talk to Diddy because she was terrified. She explained she was terrified on the call and felt like she needed to get a game plan. Mia chose to play dumb because she didn't want her life to be in danger. Whoa. She chose to play dumb because she didn't want her life to be in danger. According to Mia, Diddy also then called her shortly after the call with D-Rock, and she said she threw her phone as hard as she could into the couch and ran outside because it was so triggering. Defense shows photos of Diddy posted on Mia's social media. The jury is seeing photos of Diddy that Mia posted. The first image was posted on her personal social media account January 2013. The photo showed her holding several bottles of Ciroc vodka, and the caption said, "What we do when you're not around," and tagged Diddy's account. She confirmed to Brian Steele that Diddy had S assaulted her and abused her by that point. The jury saw 2 more photos from October 2013. One showed Diddy at a coffee shop. Quote, just the #1 guy on Forbes list getting me a vanilla latte. No big deal. Regular people. Beep. The caption said. The other photo showed Mia, Diddy, Cassie, and Carrie Morgan, a former friend of Cassie. Remember, she testified already. They were at Burning Man with the caption, "Take me back." Steele pointed out that Mia was standing right next to Diddy, leaning into him in the photo. And he terrorized you, right? Mia said, yes. Yes, he did. Bit. She's like, oh no, that's not gonna trip me up. Okay, let's go back to Inner City Perez. Okay, next question. And what did you write? She said, I wrote, thank you for giving me an extended family for life. More family, family, family. Why can't I send my sister a gift, right? Family, family, family. He was like a brother to me. Family, family, family. Uncle Paulie, Uncle Tony, right? Family, family, family. If it'll help the family, it'll help Amanda. Okay, interesting. Oh, that's a different story? Oh, I forgot. Okay. Thank you for giving me an extended family. So this is a caption that Mia wrote. He said, next question. So you're wearing a tutu next to Diddy, aren't you? Yeah. And he's holding his private part in his hand, isn't he? Mia's like, I guess so. You were proud of Mr. Sean Combs. Mia said, of course. You would post the great times. You're not going to post the worst times. But you wrote extended family for life. You are forever one of my great fans. This is about a man who traumatized you, right? She said, I did write that. Ecole York said she stroked his ego for giving her an extended family. Mia does that to Diddy to downplay. Oh, sorry, to play nice because of the toxic environment she was in. Victims will make light of a situation to deal with the trauma they experienced. Who is your mentor and brother you are writing about in this post? Puff. You did a collage. Actually, you did a lot of them. Oh, sorry. You did a collage. A lot of the pictures in the collage are you and Diddy. You picked out the thumbnails, right? Right, Mia said. And what did you write? Mia said, I wrote, who let me have my hair like that? So far, I'm not really, this is all the best they got. She took a picture next to her boss holding his junk. Where he was holding it. I don't get what I'm supposed to be. Where's he going with this? Maybe he's going somewhere. Maybe it'll happen. I'm updating the other sources. Diddy's ex-assistant claims Diddy reached out after Cassie's lawsuit to have his memory jogged. Wanted nothing to do with him anymore. So we already wrote that. We already read that. Let's go to the Mirror. The jury was then, just 3 minutes ago, shown images of Diddy posted by Mia. They have now been shown pictures of Diddy, which were shared on Mia's social media pages. The image posted in January 2013 showed her holding bottles of Ciroc alongside a caption, what we do when you're not around. She claimed that Diddy had assaulted her before that point. The jury then saw two more images from October 2013, one showing Diddy in a coffee store with the caption, "Just the number one guy on Forbes list getting me a vanilla latte. No big deal. Regular people shoot," the caption said. Another image showed Mia, Diddy, Cassie, and Carrie Morgan at Burning Man Festival alongside the caption, "Take me back." Steele told Mia that she was standing alongside Diddy and leaning into him in the picture, "And he terrorized you, right?" And Mia responded, "Yes." Okay, so we get some more context. This is from Sky News 5 minutes ago. This is a quote, "I didn't want family to know the misery I was in." Former assistant defends her social media posts of Diddy. After the jury was shown a series of social media posts from Mia's personal account featuring Diddy, Diddy's defense attorney asks Mia to confirm whether the pictures show the man who she says traumatized her life. "Yes," Mia said. After seeing another post from January 2013, Mia is asked by Steele whether she had been assaulted or abused mentally, physically, and emotionally by Diddy at this point. "Yes," Mia said. When asked to explain why Diddy was featured on her social media account, Mia says Instagram is the place where you show how great your life is, even if it's not true. Duh. Everybody freaking knows that. Brian Steele. Quote, "I had Diddy's fans following me. Plus, I didn't want my family and friends to know the misery I was in." So she was trying to protect her family. This sounds similar to Cassie. 1 minute ago, CNN.com expands on the same thing. When she was asked, she said she made positive posts about Diddy because social media was about showing how great your life is, even if it's not true. She also said, because what happens when you show how shitty your life is? Like what happened to Bam Margera? "He's crazy. He's crazy. Lock him up. He needs a conservatorship. Call TMZ. Call TMZ." And Bam says, "Why does everything on Instagram have to only all be, oh, it's so great. Everything's so great. Sometimes you're having a bad day." But here's Mia. She already knows what's going to happen. She's like, "Yeah, that's why you can't say that stuff on social media. I say it's all nice and good." She said she did not want her family to know what she was going through, referring to the various forms of abuse she claims she experienced. Okay. Next tweet. And in this picture, oh, wait, hold on. The last thing that Brian Steele asks is, or the last, I guess we'll just do the tweet. "Who is your mentor and brother?" Again, brother, sister, family, 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 brother, sister, family. Okay. "Who's your mentor and brother who you're writing about?" She said, "Puff. You did a collage. A lot of them are you and Diddy. You picked out these thumbnails, right?" "Right." "What did you write?" She said, "I wrote, 'Who let me have my hair like that?'" "And you're with Mr. Combs in the pictures, right?" Mia says, "Yeah." "And here you say, 'I'm in a billboard in Times Square,' right?" She said, "It's a play on my name is in lights." "Oh, well, what about this photo?" "Well, that's me and Cassie going to Istanbul." And again, are they going to orphanages, girl? Because now I'm starting to have questions. Next question. Did he have to approve both of you going on that trip to Istanbul, Turkey? Mia said, "Absolutely. There's no freaking way we would have been able to go to another country without his approval. I couldn't even leave the house after 2 a.m. You forgot?" "Fine. Okay, fine. What about this photo?" She said, "Well, here we're in the Sprinter van on the way to Cassie's club appearance." "Where are you in this one?" She said, "This one is the W Hotel, again, in Istanbul. That's Turkey. That's where Lindsay Lohan was over there." So what's going on with that? What's really going on? Let's go to Washington Post. They have a new update. I could sense it. 2 minutes ago, social media posts show Mia praising Diddy despite abuse claims. The defense is confronting Mia with social media posts. This is impeachment evidence. Social media posts from her time working for Diddy that depict her enjoying events and expressing adoration for her then boss. These exhibits are being used to try to cast doubt on Mia's accounts of rampant abuse, violence, and misery during her employment. Like, she's just making the best of it, y'all. She's making the best of it and taking her little happiness where she can get it. And Brian Steele's like, how freaking dare you enjoy yourself after abuse? Shouldn't you be crying in your bed at home? Shouldn't you be depressed in your bed? Should you be posting pictures enjoying yourself after a horrific event? No, you're not allowed to do that. That's basically what Brian Steele is doing. And she's like, no, I was just like, yeah, I was posting the nice stuff because I didn't want my family to freak out. And there was nice stuff. I already told y'all that yesterday. Some of the stuff was fun. It was exciting sometimes to work for him. I already said that. In October 2013, Mia posted a photo of Diddy at Starbucks with a caption reading, just the #1 guy on Forbes list, getting me a vanilla latte, no big deal. In another post, she said, always letting me give birth to my dreams. And it was a video clip of her head superimposed on a woman giving birth and Diddy's face over the delivery doctor. And you posted this picture of Diddy, the person who terrorizes you. Is that fair? And on your personal account, you posted your artist delivering a baby, didn't you? She's like, yeah. It was a funny video, first of all. And Instagram is a place to show how great your life is, even if it's not. I didn't want my family and friends to know the misery I was in. So, of course, you post the great times. Stupid. Duh. Ask your kids about it. They would know. Defense is seeking 1 minute ago. NBC News, Adam Rice, Ying Feng, and David K. Lee. Defense is seeking to minimize Mia's testimony about abuse. Diddy's defense is clearly trying to undermine Mia's gripping testimony by showing her and jurors. And if he keeps pushing on this, he's going to mess up because he's going to end up making the jury feel even worse for her because she's going to break down on the stand. Showing her and the jurors pictures and written communications between the two in less fraught times. Brian Steele said he had Mia go through a binder of materials showing she and the defendant appeared to enjoy each other's company at some times, once at a festival, leaning toward him, wearing a tutu. She was also shown a YouTube comedy hit directed by Andy Samberg, another name drop, depicting her in a hospital gown giving birth with Diddy as the OBGYN. But this was the face superimposed, they said. We have another update. Oh, this is very weird. 1 minute ago, CNN.com. Diddy changed his birthday at one point. Why? Did he get a new social security number too? I'm just wondering. Changed his birthday at one point. Defense attorney Brian Steele showed another photo Mia posted to celebrate Diddy's birthday where the caption said, in part, "Happy New Birthday." Steele asked Mia what in the hell that was about. She said Puff decided to change his birthday that year, so we all promoted it. What? Just updating through the different things. Okay, so where's this Turkey connection? How far is Turkey from Kazakhstan? Is there orphanages involved? I have questions. Okay, and what did you write here in this post? Mia said this was about Muhammad Ali's birthday with Diddy. I took the photo. You took the photo? She said, I'm sure I took multiple, but this was the best one. And this is November 4th. 5 years after you claim you were assaulted, right? She said, yeah, I didn't stutter. She didn't say that part about the stuttering, but, just adding dramatic effect for the understanding of it all. She did say yes. So essentially, what's going on here right now is Mia is being shown by Brian Steele a whole bunch of different social media posts, text messages, pictures, just a bunch of evidence where I guess this is the best that they have on her. Like, what you really want for impeachment evidence is something that directly contradicts something somebody said. Like, somebody said they were somewhere on a certain date and you got evidence they were not, or something like that. Well, they don't seem to really have that. All Brian Steele is doing is showing that sometimes Diddy posted, sometimes this girl posted pictures with Diddy, and sometimes she was grateful for him. But so many people have testified now that is their experience with Diddy. Even people that were like, I really didn't even want to quit working for Diddy, but I just couldn't be a party to that stuff anymore. I couldn't. I just felt wrong about it. Like, he did, like, teach me everything I knew. He taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to work hard. He taught me how to do this, that, and the other. But just, I couldn't work for him anymore. Capricorn Clark also said that. Cassie said that. A lot of people at this point have testified, yeah, the good times with Diddy were good. It's part of the reason people kept coming back, because there were good times and you're just hoping this is the last time. And, it never is. He's always mean again. And what about this post right here? What did you write? She said, I wrote, thank you for being my friend. Happy birthday, Diddy. Hashtag, I'm so hot. I'm throwing panties at myself. And you have Diddy with no shirt on in 2 of the pictures. She said, yeah, he's never wearing a freaking shirt. He's always shirtless. So I'm never supposed to take a picture? Did you miss the part where when I showed up to interview with him the first day, he was in his underwear? You missed that part, I guess. This is a sad, sad cross-examination. It is sad. They need to get Agnifilo back up here. Mia. And I'm doing this voice just to really emphasize how sick it is. Mia, you have said you were assaulted so many times you can't even remember. Objection, Your Honor. She did not say that. What the hell? What is this man talking about? Does he need a brain scan? The judge is like, you know what, right? She never said that. Shut up, Brian. You can't ask that question. That ain't what she said. Next question. Fine. Next question. Have you met with the prosecutors, Mia? Yeah, I have. Was it more than 27 times? She said, I don't know. I don't know how many times it was. Couldn't tell you. Waiting for another update here. Okay. Question, Mia. Do you remember you don't remember do you remember telling anyone you don't remember how many times Diddy assaulted you? She said, I don't know if I phrased it exactly that way. No, I don't remember saying that. But this has ruined you, right? You're broken, yeah? This sexual abuse was part of the way he ruined me. Yes. This is brutal. This is how I thought they were going to come at Cassie, and they just didn't. And I don't know why they're doing it here either. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's go to Washington Post. No. NBC. No. Independent. No. Thank you, Sour Girl, for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Nicole, for the $11.11. Watching your live, sending you tons of protective energy. Yes. Shout out to you. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. From the South Florida cousin. I thought Diddy was the only child, Jada Gemini said. Now he has I think he got 2 of them. I think I heard he got 2 sisters now all of a sudden. I never heard of these sisters either. It kind of reminds me of the time whenever it was like, oh, the Fruit of the Loom never had a cornucopia. Like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't think Diddy, I thought he was the only child this whole time. Who is his sister, Jada? I don't know. But she's been in court. Thank you, Alice, for the $5 super chat. I think he calls himself love because he thinks he is a god. God is love. P.S. Where's your eyeshadow from? Oh, girl, it's all kind of different ones. I got so many different ones on. I thought I was going to maybe start doing a get ready with me. Grüße aus Deutschland nach Amerika. What does that mean? Grüße? Big love from Germany to America. Is that what that means? Thank you for the €2 super chat, Nettie Daisy. Thank you, Ashley Ellenberg, for the $3 super sticker. Let's see. Oh, ich liebe. Y'all, this woman is working hard. We have almost 12K in the chat and 2K likes. Don't do my girl like this. Smash the like button. It's free. Yes, ich liebe. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Shout out to you. Okay. My stream keeps freezing. Somebody said, I rebuke you, Lou Taylor. Thank you, Lily, for the $1.99 super chat. Let's see if there's any intercity press updates. I needed a little breather from all of that. Okay. All right. So here, Brian Steele says, you wrote, thank you for being the good kind of crazy, inspiring me every day. Mia said, I don't think people wrote bad stuff about their life on Instagram back then. So why did you promote it? She said, you missed the part yesterday where I said it was my job. It was my job. It was a cycle. There was ups, there was downs. You're showing pictures of some ups. What about the downs? Stupid. He has nothing. They have nothing. They are not doing a good job impeaching this lady. Mia said, when he was calling me his best friend, I wasn't afraid of him. You weren't afraid of the man who stole your innocence. Objection. What the hell? Objection, Your Honor. Overruled. You have a family, don't you? Brian Steele says. Yeah, I have parents. I have a sister. And friends. You have friends, don't you? The assistant U.S. attorney is like, how long is this going to last, Your Honor? This is too much. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do this as my job. I just really couldn't. I do believe everybody is entitled to like a zealous defense. I'd really strongly believe that. I'm glad there's people that can do it. I'm not sure this is the way to give somebody a defense. Like, oh, man, what is really blowing my mind is that they did not attack Cassie like this. Diddy changed his birthday. The mirror.com is, or the mirror, or Mirror Co. UK is saying more about the birthday change. While testifying, Mia claimed Diddy changed his birthday. Brian Steele showed her another photo that said happy new birthday. When asked to clarify what she meant, Mia told the court Diddy decided to change his birthday, so everybody promoted it. And when you posted this Instagram post, you still had friends? She said, I had no sounding board. I had to get permission to go to my own grandfather's funeral, which I think if you have to go out of town and stuff for any job, you do have to get permission. But maybe it was like, because she just had no time. She said she had no time off. Like she couldn't even leave after 2 a.m. in the morning to go out and come back. Diddy would find out and have her tracked down. The jury, okay, here's Brian Steele. The jury was shown an email with D-Rock. You could express yourself. Okay, so he's moving on. So he's moving on from the SA. he's like, all right, we're going to move on from the, oh, you look happy in these pictures. I think she did a good job of kind of defending that. And he's like, all right, next question. So you say you couldn't express yourself, but here clearly this email with D-Rock, you're clearly expressing yourself, right? Mia said, I mean, yeah, I mean, I reached out to him. Waiting for new updates. Thanks to LF for the $4.99 super sticker. Thank to Baby Cakes for the $2 super chat. I look good on the gram, but you know anyone can. There it is. Thanks so much to Lauren for the $10 super chat. I wonder if Diddy's lawyers are catering more to how Diddy wants them to examine bullying, etc. What a more success versus what a more successful cross-examination might look like. I do think there's probably something to this. I think Diddy is very, very angry and mad and probably just like unable to control his emotions because he is not in control at all. And he hasn't been since September. And I think probably with Cassie, he did want him to really beat her up and abuse her on the stand, and they just didn't. And I think probably this could, I don't know. I think this could be a reaction to that. Thanks so much for the $10 super chat. We do have another update from CNN. Less than a minute ago, CNN.com ex-assistant shared a glowing birthday post from Diddy, even after she said he threatened her life. Okay. On June 22nd, 2014, Mia reposted an Instagram post Diddy published about her for her birthday. He posted a photo of them together, June 2014. We need to add that to our timeline, everybody. He wrote, quote, "Beside every great man is a great woman. P.S. Sorry I was acting crazy last night." This is why Brian Steele should know better than asking a question he doesn't know the freaking answer to. Unless they're all just actually working against Diddy because they can't stand him. That's an option. Diddy posted a photo of him and Mia together in 2014 and said, "Beside every great man is a great woman. P.S. Sorry I was acting crazy last night." Look at this quote. Quote. "He had threatened my life on the phone the night before, and I guess this was his apology." In her repost, she wrote, "Nicest caption ever. Thanks, Puff. Love you. You've shown me the world." Defense attorney Brian Steele then asked Mia if she reposted this, even though Diddy had just threatened her life and traumatized her for years. And she said, "Yes, of course I reposted it because otherwise he would have gotten mad. He was being nice, so I wanted to keep that going." Stupid. It's really not rocket science, Brian. It really is not. Okay. What is this? What is this, Mia? She said, "That's my friends at Funny or Die. I'm in the video." "What did you write, Mia?" Mia said, quote, "You know you are a celebrity when you are spraying champagne at Funny or Die." "What's this?" She said, "That's a post that I made for Justin. Birthday post for Justin, Diddy's son." Okay, so we got another update 4 minutes ago. Diddy's alleged abuse, quote, "ruined Mia." Brian Steele asks Mia if the abuse she claims to have suffered at Diddy's hands had left her, quote, broken. The S abuse was part of the way he ruined me. Yes, Mia responded. She testified she can't hold a job and suffers from severe PTSD. It was very confusing, Mia says, as she is quizzed over more posts about Diddy. This is from skynews.com just now. Diddy's defense attorney is continuing to question Mia over social media posts. Quote, the highs were high and the lows were low, Mia says, defending her posts. She's asked more specifically about a post made 5 years after the initial alleged abuse, in which she praised Diddy for continuing to inspire her every day. She said, I was posting the good part of my life. When asked why she would promote the person she has claimed stole her happiness, she said, I had to support the things Puff supported. It was very confusing, ups and downs. We have another new update from CNN. She said she had to beg for permission to go to her grandmother's funeral. She said she did have friends outside of her job, but she did not get to see them or speak to them. I did not have an external sounding board. Brian Steele suggested that, excuse me. Brian Steele suggested that Mia could have reached out to her friends if she wanted to. She said, no, there was literally absolutely no time. And I had to get permission to leave or do other things. I had to beg to go to my own grandma's funeral. She said she was fearful for her own safety. I need a break. And she said she was fearful for her own safety when Diddy was unhappy. I was in fear anytime Diddy was not happy because I wanted to make sure that he was happy because then I was safe. It is going to be hard to impeach this one, Brian Marie. I could tell you that. What about this post? 1 minute ago, Inner City Press. Mia says, that's a Ciroc promo. #. Yeah, but you're in it with Diddy. Yeah. Did you ever say anything that Diddy violated you? Never, she said. Never. What about here? Well, that's Puff and Jimmy Iovine, and I posted it and I said, legends, because they are. But he's traumatized you? Yeah. So now he's just hitting her with the repetition. Are you sure he traumatized? Are you sure he traumatized? Are you sure he traumatized? I would just say objection, repetitive, asked and answered. And you wrote, what did you write on this one? Watch Puff tonight on Fuse today. Mia says, I convinced him to make a door on his TV set and call it the Diddy door. And you post this picture of the person who ruined your life? He said, yeah. She said, yeah, and my boss. He's my boss. I think it's not really sinking in, Brian. Who made you post this? She said, nobody made me post it. I posted it on my own accord. No, I didn't say anybody made me post it. I said it was confusing. I'm just refreshing some other stuff. Is Jonathan Oddie going to come to the stand? That's what I want to know. Mia claims, this is 4 minutes ago from Fox News, Mia claims Diddy's conduct was the worst thing that ever happened to her during her cross-examination. She worked for him from 2009 until 2017. The defense lawyer asked about the trauma Mia endured. She confirmed she slept in a room without a lock. She claimed Diddy came into the room and violated her. She reiterated to the attorney that if someone calls her name, she even panics. Diddy's conduct was the worst thing that ever happened to her, she said. Wow. This is sick. The man has problems, I think. Okay. How do you just simply, Brian Steele is saying this, how do you just forget about waking up with a man on top of you, having his way with you, Mia? How does somebody forget something like that? Brian Steele says. She said, I was in fear. That's a good answer. I was in fear of upsetting him. The moments other than that, when we were best friends. How are you best friends with a man who you say R'd you? She said, ask my therapist, Brian. I'm just telling you the truth. Ask somebody who knows about brains. It's not funny, but I'm just saying, like, good for her for saying that answer. How are you going to be best friends with somebody who you say R'd you? She said, ask my therapist. I don't know. I'm just telling you the truth. There were times we were best friends. There were times he abused me. This happens. If that's too hard for you to understand, maybe get a different job. I really don't know. Really don't know. Just waiting for some more updates. How do you forget these things? How do you forget these things? She's like, I just didn't want him to be upset. Because he was my best friend at other times. How are you best friends with somebody who you say argue? I don't know. Ask my freaking therapist. Got a new update from Washington Post. Wesley Parnell, WashingtonPost.com. Mia posted her shout out to my mentor Diddy message to social media the same day she claims Diddy SA'd her. According to the defense's team, cross-examination of Mia, who's testifying under a pseudonym. Brian Steele also showed Mia similarly fawning posts. And that's an interesting word to use there, because some people have said this is a coping mechanism. Similarly, fawning posts she made about her boss between 2009 and 2016. On the 5th anniversary of the initial sexual abuse, you are saying to Diddy on your social media, thank you for being the good kind of crazy and continuing to inspire me every single day? Brian Steele asked. Mia said, I don't think people wrote bad stuff on Instagram in those days. And so this is getting a little insight into how she's acting or behaving on the stand. They said she was notably tense and terse. So it appears from that Brian Steele's intended effect to rattle and shake this victim, alleged, is working. But I think this isn't going to play well with the jury. They're going to be like, why are they beating this lady up like this? She's already been crying on the stand for a day and a half. And somebody had said earlier, do I think maybe Diddy is kind of making his lawyers take this approach because he's upset that they didn't do this to Cassie? Maybe. Could be. I don't know why they would go after her like this. A man too. Like usually you don't have a man going after a woman-esque assault victim in an aggressive way. It's just usually not how it works. Because of the appearance of it. It just doesn't look good. Especially because there's more than just he said, she said here. We do have text messages that do show, I'm trying to get another update. Yeah, people are saying this doesn't dilute or absorb the messages she shared with Diddy and the threatening emails and also the ones where he attempted to, I guess, bribe her. Why can't I send my sister some money? Who is D freaking Rock? Didn't he do interviews? Who's D Rock? It was Lauren. It was Lauren who had said that. Thank you, Janelle, for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you to Y Ventura. Do you remember when Diddy had Chris Brown and Rihanna go to his home in Florida to rekindle their relationship? No. I did not remember that Diddy had anything to do with that. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Shout out to Stephanie for the $9.99. If I think the defense thinks the jury is stupid. I mean, they might be in an echo chamber, Stephanie. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Mama Hen. Yes, Jesus approves your daily advocating for justice. Okay, amen, Jesus. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Dustin. Nobody on that defense team would be brave enough to go in the closet with Diddy alone. I think it's true, Dustin. I don't think they would. Maybe Brian Steele, but I don't think they would. Thank you for the $5 super chat. By the way, Light of Mine was your intro song. Love your songs. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mama Hen, for the $1.99. Shout out to Dasha for the $10 super sticker. Dasha Jones. Thank you, Origins and Facts. This trial solidifies that our legal system is not about law and truth. It's about loopholes. It benefits the rich who unethically work them. Thank you, BJ. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Hey, new here. I watched you yesterday. I love the effects you make. LOL. This defense is whack today. Has no story. I agree. No story at all, Morgan Bird. And shout out to you. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Y'all, I am on the edge of my seat for another update here. Come on. Most recent one over there was 8 minutes ago. Let's see. Got any new? Got any more of them new updates? Got any more of these new updates? We're on NBC. Independent. CNN. Fox News. The Mirror. This headline. Mia feared for her safety around unhappy Diddy. While testifying, she claimed she rarely got to see or speak to her friends outside of work. When Brian Steele suggested she could have simply contacted her friends, Mia responded, no, there was absolutely no time. I had to get permission to leave or do things. I had to beg to go to my grandma's funeral. She later added that she feared for her safety when Diddy became angry. I was in fear for my life. I was in fear anytime Diddy was not happy because I wanted to make sure that he was, because then I was safe. And what did you write in this post? Mia said, I wrote F off, Patron, with a photo of Diddy dancing with his tequila. And what about this photo? Diddy is close to you. Yeah. You're producing the show? She said, well, no, Funny or Die produced the show, but I was getting some producer credits. F off Patron. And Diddy with his tequila. Waiting for more updates any freaking day now. They're really trying to minimize Mia's credibility. They're trying to impeach her credibility. Nikki, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Nikki said, is there any truth to the rumor that Kim Porter's dad is in the courtroom? Other observers are saying that. I don't believe anything until I see it. Nikki Marie, but I'll look it up. Let's see. Kim Porter father Diddy trial. Because there have been pictures of other stuff. No. I don't see anything that says it. I don't see anything that says it. There have been a lot of like fake AstroTurf, like fake, like literal fake stories going around. Like, oh, Prince, a secret recording of Prince was leaked in court. Like, no, it wasn't. That's not true. That's fake. So it may be one of those fake things. I haven't heard that, but it could be true. I just haven't heard that. I don't see anything substantiating that. Thank you for the $4.99. Thank you, Footsie's girl, for the $19.99. Oh no, I was assaulted by a man in my unit in the Army. Oh, thank you for your service, and I'm so sorry that happened. My female company commander was the investigator, and she blamed me. I still had to salute her. This is how power works, similar to those working for Puff. Oof, that makes me enraged, just infuriated. I'm just so sorry, Footsie's girl. Thank you for the $19.99 super chat. Okay, let's see. Finally can send. Love you. Thank you, Subliminal Locks, for the $9.99 super chat. Jamila said Miss Porter's father was there on the first day. He came in the same van as the Demon's family. Oh, Jamila. Carlos said, hold on. I beg to differ. Brian Steele might actually go in there with him. I don't know. I'm not saying that. That's what Carlos said. We got 2 updates from NBC. Okay. Here. 2 minutes ago, 12:30, defense tries to corner Mia on contradictions. The defense questioned Mia on her social media posts with Diddy and her communications with him where she said, love you, and called him a mentor and inspiration. She defended her posts, though, as showing the good parts of her life. When asked why she promoted the person who stole her happiness, she said, I had to support the things Diddy supported. It was very confusing, ups and downs. The defense tried to call out contradictions in Mia's testimony where she said she was in constant fear of upsetting Diddy, but she would post about being his best friend. She said, it's easy because the dynamic would shift. When things are good, I felt really safe. You almost forget about those other things. She said later, it was psychological. I felt responsible for helping him. I felt bad for him. I really don't know how to describe it. Yeah, he gets these women that want to help broken men. Poor things. And it's his fault. I'm not blaming them at all. 2 minutes, like people pleasers. 2 minutes ago, defense wants to show the good times in Diddy's world. There were clearly some good times during Mia's stint working for Diddy and his side of the table. There were some good times in Mia's stint working for Diddy, and his side of the table wants jurors to see it. Defense lawyers showed a video of Mia laughing in a comedy video with Rick Ross and images of her celebrating Justin Combs' birthday. In her direct testimony, Mia didn't deny there were some good times, but she made it clear that the highs were more than offset by the lows. We have 2 new updates from CNN. Court is taking a lunch break and they will be back at 1:15. Let's see if Inner City Press is going to show them arguing about anything over the lunch break. Okay, so at this point, you're producing the show. Funny or Die did the show, but I was getting producer credits. The assistant U.S. attorney said, can we get a sidebar? The judge said, let's just let the jurors go to lunch and we'll stay in here and hash it out. The judge says to the assistant U.S. attorney, yes. She said, the witness has no burden to bring forth evidence to support her claims. That is our burden. The judge said, Mr. Steele, you have to ask, does she have texts or emails or something that she would have knowledge of? Okay, understood. I don't know what they're arguing over. But I bet you Inner City Press will talk about it in his blog. So y'all go to Inner City Press's Twitter. It's linked below. And I'm sure he's going to post a little blog explaining what they were arguing about in court. I'm going to go take a brief break. I will be back with another video at 1:15 to finish up this day of Mia on the cross-examination. Shout out to SBX3, sent to you by Sloan during the Free Britney movement. I've been a fan ever since. Good work, girl. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And you have been around for a while. So, they're basically saying they're not defending their client. It's going to be video proof. Uh-oh. Okay, so people are saying we might be getting some video evidence of something coming out soon. I'm going to go take my little lunch break. I'll be back in about 45 or 40 minutes or so, and I'll see y'all when we get back on the other side of the stream. That's all we got for this one. In the meantime, that facts ain't defamation, neither are opinions. Love you, Meanie K. Bye.